Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hot Dog Hour. We are checking in on America. This is the America Check-In. Some of you think that America has never been stronger. You're not wrong. You know, we have more B-2 Spirit bombers than anyone in the world. Some of you may think America is on a respirator, that democracy is in free fall. You're not totally wrong. But the thing is, we've always been con men, okay? The thing is, we're not hiding it anymore. See, the entire history of America is a dichotomy, right? It's a give and a take. To represent this, I have two hats that I've brought with me. The first is a 1980s Top Gun Pepsi collaboration. This represents America's mighty influence, global partnerships, recognizable brand identity, respect. And this hat is a bomb. It represents America's mighty influence, global identity, and respect. See what I did there? The fact is, both parties are right. America's still in its infant growing pain stages. And I'm too stupid to say, you know, what's right and what's wrong. So instead, I'm just going to say things. We've always been cowboys, folks. 2025 is no different. So where do we go from here? Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest with me today. This gentleman is a Northeast native, thank God. He's a brilliant thinker. He is a mind that is not afraid. He's someone who asks questions. He's someone who's very talented, very funny. He's my friend. By the end of this, he's going to be your friend too. Give it up for Chris Warren!
Hey everybody, I'm Chris Warren. Nice to be here. That's the nicest.
Hey, don't be afraid to clap.
That's the nicest intro anyone's ever given me.
Wow, thank you so much, Chris.
If I could get all the comments on my videos to be like that,
hey, you know
I
what?
probably wouldn't even have to do comedy anymore. I'd be
no,
like,
that's fine.
I'm good. I'm fulfilled.
That's good. That's We're really not doing this for the love of the game or for the art. I mean, are you insane?
Oh no, I'm doing this for external validation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If my dad had said, "I love you and I'm proud of you," one time, I'd be an investment banker right
That's
now.
all it is.
I'd have such a better life.
You would be, ironically, still on this block, but just
like
a couple buildings
blocks
down. Yeah, you'd probably own the building.
I'd have a hot wife that hates me.
Ugh.
I'd have a Mercedes. My kids would be in like boarding school. I never see them.
Yeah.
I'd be on track to make partner in like 2 years.
Which kind of sounds nice.
Doesn't it sound sick?
Because you know what the problem is? As you get older, you realize, here's something that people need to realize, especially men, okay? There's nothing better than just a woman with a terrible attitude who hates you.
It's the best.
Who also lives with you. Because you know why? A broken clock is right twice a day. And when she's loving you, she's loving you.
And you know what it is? It keeps you grinding.
It keeps you grinding.
Because if you know that the woman you have to go home to is going to be mean to you for an hour, you're like, I'm not going home.
No.
I'm staying the extra hours in the office.
I'm making partner.
I'm making partner. That's why they're so motivated. Because like Katya at home is going to tear me a fucking new one. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to talk to my annoying children.
Oh my God.
I'm just
playing soccer or something? Shut up.
I'll just stay at the office. I'll make an extra 20 grand today. I guess that's what I'll do.
It just makes sense. You know, here's the problem. America was not built for families. It wasn't built for a family unit out of love. It was built out as a family unit, as a reliable plow horse. It was so you could go to any house and go, well, they got a mom, a dad, and 2 workers that are ready to work. You know what I mean?
You know, I feel like that's where we went wrong as America, is we started letting Hollywood convince us that relationships were about love. But you forget all those movies, right? The whole point of them, like if they're old stories like Romeo and Juliet, is that it's really weird that their romance is built off love. It's like the exception. It's like the fantasy, the exception to the rule, and that's what makes it so powerful. That's what made them so popular at their time. You're not supposed to just randomly fall in love.
That's like insane, by the way.
No, it just is. Like, you're supposed to meet someone, and it's supposed to be like a business negotiation.
Yes.
You're supposed to be like, this is how many kids I want. This is where I want to live. here's what I make, here's what my obligations are going to be, what do you make, what are your obligations, do we have similar values? Okay, everything else we can figure out.
Yeah.
We have the important shit figured out of, like, this is how we're going to build our life. This is how, do you want to raise the children religious? Like, what are we doing with that? And we go the opposite way in America. We go, oh, well, they're hot and they're fun. They make me laugh. We like the same bands. It's a good time. And it's like,
my God.
Oh, I don't even care that we're, like, completely different worldviews or have completely different values and, like,
disgusting
lived experience. We'll figure that. That stuff's not important. We'll
cares
figure
about
that stuff out
values?
later.
So democracy's the issue. We need to go back to saying, you know what? I hate you. I don't appreciate your view.
A military dictatorship would save this nation.
I do. Here's the problem. I know it's scary. I know you live in D.C. and now the National Guard, they're picking up trash. Get used to it, okay? Okay, martial law is the future. That actually does bring us to our first point. I'd like to, before we get any further, I would like to announce that Chris Warren and I will be performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. October 7th is actually one of the dates. That's insane.
Seems a little on the nose.
Like, fuck you guys, right? Like, that's like, you couldn't have, like, is that the final night?
I feel like what happened is, I think they picked it at random. I don't think they were thinking that far ahead. And some intern definitely went like, hey, you guys know this is like, you know what that date might be interpreted as. And some Saudi prince was like, I'm never wrong, so I'm not taking the L on this. We're fucking doing this.
That's true.
You
Dude,
know?
I was like, do you think that they, like, this was clearly a Hail Mary for them. Like, do you think that they maybe were like, it probably won't? Like, do you think they were surprised? Like, do you think that they were in an office and he was like, Habibi, they all said yes. We're having the festival. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you think, like...
I think, no, because, like, people don't understand how truly wealthy the Saudis are. Like, you have, like, over 1,000 people in the royal family, and they only include the men. So, like, that's... no, I'm just being real. It's like, you have, like, 1,000 princes, right, under the crown prince, because for whatever reason, they refuse to have a king. It's always like, But you have over 1,000 of them. They're all, like, the poorest one. The, like... 7,800th in line to the throne is worth $700 million, and they all make fun of him for being poor.
Right, he's
like
the broke one.
And he's the lowest rung. Can you imagine when you get to the top 10 how much money they have? They're probably I would venture to guess that there's at least one person in the Saudi royal family that is a trillionaire, and they just choose not to make it. The first trillionaire already happened. They're just not making it public.
Yeah, it's him or Putin.
Yeah, one of them.
It probably is Saudi.
Which just goes to show you that, like, if you're a good person and you work hard and you always do the right thing and are honest, like, that's the real path to money.
That is the real... Honesty is not the path to money, folks. Listen, we have always been con men, okay? It's just that it's like I said in the beginning, it's just that now it's like we're kind of like not really hiding it anymore.
Yeah, it's
like,
beautiful.
Both sides. Like, the leaders are just like, yo, here's what's going to happen. And then the elite people, like the celebrities, like comedians, everybody. Have you seen the list?
Calling comedians celebrities is...
Rich
I
people...
say this as a comedian. It's generous.
Right.
It's a generous...
But can I tell you something? I think that's the upper echelon. Like, I feel like all the comedians going to this are celebrities.
That's fair.
Does that make sense? Like, because it's like Kevin Hart, Tom. Did you see the list?
No.
I'm gonna pull it up.
I just saw that I was not invited, and I'm like, well, if there was a terrorist attack there, that'd be horrible. If all the top talent got taken out and someone needed to, like, move up a rung in the comedy scene to...
Well, my thing is just like, guys, where was the submission link? I don't...
Because here's the thing. I'm not delusional. I'm not gonna replace, like, Bill Burr. But, like, the guy that moves up to replace him, he's going to leave. I could maybe take some of those spots, Right?
Come on. Listen, I'll take a spot for some guy who makes a gay joke that you don't like.
Exactly.
And then I'll come in. I'm Italian. We're the gayest homophobes, but we don't like... We hate gay people, but we love, like, soccer.
I think the Turks might give you a run for your money. You ever been to Turkey?
No, I haven't.
You'll just be walking around, and you will see two men holding hands. And it's just like because they're boys. And I think
they're not. They're just boys.
No, they're just boys. Oh no, you should not be gay in Turkey.
No,
that's they give the Italians a run for their money on the homophobia. But like
they're like truly kiss your homies goodnight.
Yeah, but it's one of those things with like the Arab world, Persia, like anyone in the Middle East has this thing where because homosexuality is so not acceptable, like they've completely basically gotten rid of it publicly, then there's no confusion that anything you do with your boys would be gay because there's a death sentence or like a complete social ostracization. So like in that society, you can go kiss your homie and it's like, well, that's not, you can just kiss your homie because there's no way that guy would be gay.
Right.
We'd light him on fire.
That's
so
insane.
it's like, so you can hold your boy's hand. You can like go be naked in the sauna together. Like all this shit that we in America are repressed by because it might make us gay.
Right.
It's like, well, they're like, if I was gay, I'd be dead. So,
You know, and that's very. So I guess so. There's no hood guys saying pause in Saudi Arabia. There's
No.
they're not passing the blunt.
They would think you're gay for not holding hands.
For not holding.
It's like, why are you scared of it?
Yeah, why are you scared? Well,
Men
you know,
hold hands.
And because that's the thing about, especially in America, I feel like gay. Like sexuality almost seems like something you can like catch, you know what I mean? Like everywhere else they're like, you know, I'm not gay. Like America, you're like, I'm not gay. You want to go in the sauna? No, because what if I am?
Listen,
What if-
I'm gonna
what
be,
if I like
I'm
it?
gonna be so real with you. I'm like 31. My options are dropping off. If a handsome dude with confidence approached me, you could probably turn me.
If he said the right thing,
If he said the right things to me on a vulnerable day where I was like a date with a woman went bad,
or even today, you had some trouble finding parking. Like if a guy just knocked on the window and he's like, "Hey, can I help?" and you'd be like, "Whoa,
dude, if some hunk came out with like his shirt unbuttoned and was like, "Let me let you park. Stop traffic," and it was like, "No, back in. You're good. I got you, babe." I'd be like,
I got like a couple buttons, like 3 buttons undone."
yeah, I would just be like,
nothing egregious, but like,
Alex, I gotta cancel the pod. I think I just fell in love. I gotta go.
Bring the cameras, but we don't need the audio. Okay, let me read you who's going to the Riyadh Comedy Festival. It's absurd. Tim Dillon, Jeff Ross and Friends, Dave Chappelle, Gabriel Iglesias, Omid Jaja. I don't know. That's probably the one guy who can speak freely there. Jimmy On. I don't know who that is. Jessica Kirsten, Aziz Ansari, Kevin Hart, Nimesh Patel, Chris DiStefano, Tom Segura, Joe Coy, Sam Morrell, Hannibal Buress, Andrew Schultz, Sebastian Maniscalco, Andrew Santino, Bobby Lee, Bill Burr, Whitney Cummings, Jimmy Carr, Louis C.K., Pete Davidson, Mark Norman, Russell Peters, Zarna Gang, Chris Tucker.
That's a pretty star-studded cast.
That's a great lineup.
That's a pretty. That's better than the comedy festival you and me met at.
Yeah.
the comedy festival.
Well, let's not. Hey. The Finger Lakes are
Sorry.
the home of some very special venues.
Well, hey, we got to meet each other, and that
We
made
did.
it all worth it.
And that's what makes it
Yeah.
worth it, right? That's what makes it That's what makes it all worth it, folks. Comedy is about the relationships that you build and you cultivate, and that is what Saudi Arabia is doing now. Listen, they realize, hey, baby, this is all based on followers and references, okay?
Dude, I think the Saudis are kind of like a little bit baller. Think what you want about them morally.
Of course they are.
The fact they're like, yeah, we're just gonna have a con. And everyone says it's crazy. They've been doing crazy shit like this forever. Like when
forever.
they wanted they're just like, yeah, we're gonna have the UFC here now.
Well,
And then they had the thing where it's like, we want a golf tournament, and the PGA is like, anyone that plays in that golf tournament is banned from PGA. So they went to all the top guys, and they're like, hey, we'll give you like $100 million. We'll give you retirement money.
yeah.
And they're just like, this will be my last golf tournament. I'm going, fuck the PGA. I'm going to the Saudi Arabia golf tournament.
Dude, look, it's a weird situation because it's like, people are pissed. And people are, and even I partly was like, what the fuck, man? They're all going to Saudi Arabia? They're performing for the regime? You know what I mean? But then I was like, that's actually probably the most American thing you could do.
They could have, I'm going to be real, they could have been like, Chris, we can't pay for you. We can't pay for your air travel or your hotel stay, but if you find a way to get here, we'll give you 10 minutes in front of Bill Burr. I would have made it. I would have taken out a payday loan and gone.
Dinner with Jay-Z.
That's how easy I am. You don't even have to bribe me. I'll just show up if you give me
like I'm that desperate. You don't have to wine and dine me. I'll do anything to be liked, let alone monetary values.
Like people are always like, because I've been talking about shit like this where everyone's got to calm down. Now people in my life are like, oh, Chris, you sell out. Why would you do that? It's horrible. It's like, listen, I'm a Jewish man. If Adolf Hitler was like, hey, we need someone for the big rally, I can't pay you, but I promise I can't pay.
But it's exposure.
If you find your way to Berlin, I promise I'll tell everyone you're one of the good ones.
Right.
I give you my assurance you can get in and out. No one's gonna kill you.
Bing bang boom.
Can you do 20? I'd be like, my Führer, I'll be there.
Mein Führer, yeah. Listen. You can, and it's Adolf, so it's probably industry in the crowd, right? He's big.
I hope Goebbels sees me there. Wants to put me. I could play like one of the propaganda Jews in the
Right.
videos, you know?
Yeah, I could go like this. We
Yeah,
could go
I
like
could do
this.
some of it. I'm a sellout. I'll do it.
I'll do anything for money. I'm Jewish now. Dude, wow, that is really. It is crazy though to think like, like you're in the green room. Hitler's like, "Yo, can you stretch?" The other guy's running late. Can you stretch? No, because Hitler would be late. They'd be like, "Hitler's late.
Hitler's late. We gotta.
He went over on the other one. Can you stretch? Like, can you do 30? Yeah, I can do 30. Yeah,
I can. Yeah, I got this. I got
30. Do you know anything about Berlin or like do you know like that's what it would be like? God,
Sprechen
it
Sie
is true.
Deutsch in Berlin.
But dude, it is true because it's like that's what we America was rich Europeans who didn't want to pay taxes, who said fuck you, I'm gonna buy an army, fuck you.
Americans were free patriots. They're freedom fighters escaping religious persecution.
But and how did they escape it? With the dollar.
You know that almost all of the original states are containment colonies.
What does that mean? Explain.
So the British had this thing. Everyone thinks everyone came here for religious freedom. Like, no, a lot of people were forced here.
Yeah.
So the English had this problem where, like, they're Anglican, and there were a lot of Catholics left over from when they were Catholics. There are all these new movements, you know, like the Puritans and Quakers and shit. And they're like, these guys are annoying. We can't, because they'd already genocided a bunch of people. They're like, we can't do another genocide.
This is bad PR, guys.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, like Massachusetts, that was a containment colony for all the Puritans. We're just gonna send them over there, send back taxes, and we'll leave you alone. Pennsylvania, containment colony for the Quakers. All the Quakers were sent. William Penn was a Quaker politician in England, and he bought the land to get his Quaker people to like somewhere they could worship.
Of course, the William Penn Inn.
Yeah, Delaware and Maryland, Catholic containment colonies. They sent all the British holdouts that didn't want to convert to Anglicanism. They're like, fuck you, you're going to the small state in the
You'll
Union.
go hang with the Italians.
Yeah, we're going to send you down there, you fucks.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of the early colonies were containment colonies for, quote, undesirables. The British didn't want to, like, fully exterminate. They're just like, we'll make some tax money. They'll go to this land no one wants to go to. They'll send us back tobacco and shit. And then, like, we don't have to deal with them being, like, religious freaks.
That's so crazy. Which is also funny because think about back then, like they'll be like, we're going to send him to Maryland and Virginia. Like there's going to be any money there. There's going to be any money or power there, right? Now it's everything. That's so crazy. It is so funny when you look back in history and you realize that like so many things happened because that's just like how it shook out. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, you're like, yeah, they sent him there because they didn't convert, and they were like, I guess we'll make money off him. And now it's Langley, Virginia.
I mean, most things in history was a decision some guy made in a panic that was probably stupider than you are watching, and was just like, fuck, what do I do? My boss is going to be pissed, and just made a decision, and now we all look at it as some genius thing, and It's like, no, that guy was shooting a Hail Mary. Like, he had he didn't do his job for a month and panicked. Like, that's...
Dude, and that's true because... there are so many like situations like I think that every time when I read about like a great battle like you know like we're all obsessed with like 300 the 300 Trojan warriors fought off that like they were stupid. They were just lucky idiots, like, you know what I mean?
They weren't even they lost the battle. They weren't even lucky. Like they fucking lost.
Like anyone can do that. I have a story. One time a guy who was bigger than me beat the shit out of me. Do I get a movie now? Like what?
Yeah, but I stayed conscious for like longer than you'd think. I took a lot of shots to the head before I went down.
I took a lot of headshots. Dude, it is so funny how it's like, you know, you think about like PR obviously didn't exist back. I mean, well, it wasn't called PR, but I'm like, even back then it was PR. Like they were like, no, we're not exterminating these people. We're sending them to the new place. It's new. It's fresh.
I mean, half of them will die of
They'll
weird
all
diseases.
likely die, hopefully. But dude, it's just crazy. Like the PR for different. Do you think all this stuff with like the Riyadh comedy, like, do you think Saudi Arabia is trying to build PR right now? PGA Tour, comedy stuff. I think they're going for the big one. I think they're going for the Olympics.
How much fun would that be?
They want the. Can you imagine?
That'd be so much fun, dude. I would go to that.
Listen, we have this one, or not this year. Is it next year in LA?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, that's probably going to be more dangerous than Saudi.
It's going to ruin the city. It's genuinely going to ruin the city.
Dude, which is crazy because I'm like, how is that going to work?
Oh, it's like the thing with like the Olympics is when you read into it, every city in like the history of the modern era that's taken on the Olympics like destroys their infrastructure and loses so much money. Like
it is like a death wish.
You know, it's like a pride thing, but like
yeah.
You lose so much money because you have to build all the infrastructure. You're only going to use it like one time.
Literally.
Because LA doesn't need 20 stadiums. They're going to tear down the other 19, you know?
That's fucking crazy. And, you know, LA's obviously big. And have you ever been to LA?
No.
I mean, it's big and there's space and stuff. But, like, yeah, like to your point, like, where are they going to be?
Well, you know, we'll do eminent domain in the poor part of town. And, you know, those people have to move somewhere else.
Can you imagine if this is how they clean up Skid Row?
What if this is why they did the fire? They're like, we got to burn all this shit to make room for the fucking football stadium.
This is why they did 841, Chris Warren. We have uncovered a conspiracy theory. They have, oh my God, can you imagine if, and you could see Gavin Newsom being like, what we're going to do is we're going to have a beautiful stadium right in the Palisades Stadium.
Have you even seen that Gavin Newsom is starting to tweet like Trump? It's so funny.
It's so funny. It's annoying and funny. It is hilarious. It's hilarious because Trump started it. But I'm annoyed by all. I have some ground rules that I'd like to lay down for Mr. Musk, okay? Friend of the show. Mr. Musk, I know you're watching. Countries are not allowed to have Twitter.
Disagree.
You disagree?
Disagree.
Tell me why. Well, here's why I just think it's stupid and it makes me take you less seriously. Like countries like tweet like memes now, and I'm like, guys,
put me in charge of the U.S. Armed Forces Twitter account. Just do it.
Now this is interesting.
I'd fucking rock it.
You actually would rock it.
I would fucking crush it.
Would you do memes? Would you do your content?
I would get enlistment up 500%.
Yo, you so
and I want that to be clear. That's after I've made women not allowed to be in the military. So we're gonna get rid of like 10% of the military, and then we're gonna double the size of the military in spite of that.
Right. First order of business: no women.
No women.
No women in the country, preferably. But we'll get there.
It's gonna be a phase.
We'll meet Saudi halfway.
How am I gonna hold my boys' hands and have no one think it's gay if there are women around?
God, these judgy women who are just judging these Turkish bathhouse men. But, okay, so I know what you mean. I mean, listen, I go back and forth on it because realistically, I view it as, look, this is the way of the world now. People are on Twitter. This is where people are. So you have to find a way to effectively communicate things, obviously. It just feels like, you know what the problem is, dude? It just feels like everybody wants to be like an influencer now, even like Israel. Like it's like people are like tweeting like jokes, and I'm like, what is we tweet jokes. We like, do you know what I mean? Like people are like I saw a tweet. There was like Brazil tweet about like the BRICS thing, and I'm like, this is like what's happening? Like they're tweeting. Like there's porn on this site.
How great would that be if like Iran just started like tweeting out porn like Kanye does?
Yo, can you imagine?
That would have been the best PR move. It's like, hey, guys, we got bombed. Everyone's like, fuck you, Iran. They're like, check this shit out. And they're like, oh, you fuck with Gabby Carter? And it just like switches. They could have won over a lot of people.
So what you're saying is we need to coordinate a Bonnie Blue visit to...
No, because she's... Come on.
That's so hack. That was hack.
I'm sorry, that was hack. She's just an evil person. We don't want to be... We want to give them a wholesome porn star.
She's a black hole.
We want to give them a wholesome porn star, you know?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we want like a girl next door, kind of like a MILF. I'm sure they'd like MILFs.
I think they would. I don't think they have MILFs over there.
I don't think they let women live that long.
You're just going to have children until you die in childbirth.
Yeah,
so
right.
You got to like 31.
And then they're like, shit. It's so insane, dude. Yeah, there's going to be... Do you think that the Olympics would ever do that? Would ever go to have they gone to crazy countries before?
I mean, we had the FIFA World Cup in Qatar.
True.
And they're like, or Qatar, whatever, they say.
Oh, yeah. It's Qatar, I think, is what it's
No, I have this policy that...
Well, it's like a Qatar, like you're supposed to say it.
Qatar.
Yeah.
I have this policy that people get mad at me online all the time. I anglicize everything I say.
Yeah.
And people are like, it's not Iran, it's Iran. And it's like, no, because you translate into English, and in English it is Iran.
Right. And
sorry.
And if I say anything, I just put this on. Top Gun.
Top Gun.
You want to say that again, what it's called? I'll tell you what it's fucking called. No, yeah, I just feel like at this point we're clearly... It sounds stupid because it's just a comedy show. But like...
Of all the problems in the world, to be everything on this is the issue.
No, but I'm saying I think that like it's important because comedy's so culturally relevant right now in America that I feel like, you know, when we were younger, people, because we're the same age, I'm 30, so like when we were in like high school, comedy was obviously popular and Bill Burr was popular and stuff, but people, like, I feel like now it's like, you know what I mean? I mean, people, like, my parents know who, like, Tim Dillon is. You know what I mean? Like, or, like, my parents, like, it's like my parents know who Tim Dillon is, like, they know who, like, Drake is or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of comedians now are, like, household names. Like, or, like, my parents know who Joe Rogan is. You know what I mean? It's
well,
like,
I think the way it happened is podcasts became popular, and Joe Rogan was, like, the first big podcast.
He was ahead of it,
and
dude.
then he
Well,
got
Tom
all the
Brady.
other comics. So by the time podcasts went mainstream, a lot of the long-running, well-produced podcasts were done by comedians.
Right.
And then you go even further when social media, like not Facebook, but when like everyone started having Instagram on their phone, and like you could actually view short-form content. Comedians jumped on that because we're optimized for that type of content. Like comedian comedy is optimized for that. And so I think then it like went from being this thing you'd see once a year and then maybe see a like one of the bigger guys on a late night show, and that was the average person's experience of comedy, to okay, well now I listen to their podcast and now I see them you know, on my social media feed. They say something funny, so I'm going to watch them. And then, you know, with Netflix, Hulu, all that, it went from specials being like on once a year on HBO or once a year on Comedy Central to it's like you can just Netflix drops like 40 specials a year.
Dude, there's
so many.
I go on sometimes and there are well-established comics. I'm like, I didn't even know they had a special coming out. Like there's so many now. You're like, I didn't even know.
but I do foresee, and this is not great for my professional pathway. It's gonna be a bubble probably.
For sure.
You can only have this much saturation before it shrinks again. And knowing my luck, it'll be right when I'm about to break out.
Right when we're about to sell tickets.
When I'm about to start being able to, like,
I can't sell tickets. That's why I'm mad at the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
All right, I'm an honest man. No, but dude, I know what you mean. You know, and I think about that a lot, but I actually think it will benefit us, to be honest.
Because we got nothing to lose. We'll stick it out.
Right.
I got
and
nothing to go back to.
We like it. We started it before it was like the bubble-ish. I mean, I started it right before like the pandemic.
Same.
So so it's like it was obviously popular then, but I really feel like post-pandemic it really like exploded.
I think it
or maybe
continued.
leading up to the.
Because I really think it all started back in like 2014.
You think?
I think that's when it. Because I remember.
Do you think there was like an exact moment?
Yeah, cause I just remember in like 2000. Yeah, it was probably like 2013, 2014. I was like, what was I? I was like a sophomore in college, and I had like several people, and I didn't grow up being into comedy. Some comedians do. I just kind of stumbled into comedy as an alcoholic, but
as many comedians do.
But I remember I was on college campus, and like in the course of like one weekend at a party, like 7 people. Oh, you listen to Joe Rogan or Joey Diaz? Those podcasts are sick. And these are not like comedy people.
Right.
These are just regular people. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Right.
And like the Fear Factor guy, he's got a podcast. It's fucking hilarious.
Like, what?
And I was like, what? And so that happened enough times. I'm like, oh, like regular people know, like it's not, it went from just being like weird comedy nerds to like the dude on the water polo team who was my roommate, who's like a finance bro, is like, yo, Joe Rogan's got some, you know.
Bro, that's what I think is crazy. Like there are like guys that like drink protein shakes now and they're like, dude, Kill Tony? Like, do you know?
Yeah, Kill Tony's another
and I'm
one.
like, will you stop? No, but it is, it's so weird how it just fucking exploded, dude. Like, I think that you're right. Obviously, it's a bubble. Do you have like an prediction of when it would burst or how it would burst? Like, because I think stuff like Riyadh is getting close. Like, we're going to Saudi Arabia. Some of them are getting paid like $2 million to do like 30 minutes or an hour. Like,
so
you know
I
what
think
I mean?
you're already kind of seeing it happen, where like the live streamers and influencers we've all seen this like come in and start doing comedy. And
like, get the fuck out.
Hey, let's see if they're funny. They're funny.
Yeah,
There's some funny ones. But like a lot of them, some people really make it work, but a lot of them just like they don't even want to be a comic. Their manager just was like, "This is how you monetize your following."
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of them now switch to like they're in comedy clubs. They're technically comedy shows, but it's more like a weird. Has more of like an improv show vibe.
It's more
to
of
it.
like a one-man show kind of thing.
Yeah, or they'll have
or
like,
live podcasts.
Yeah. So I think it's going to switch to like more like live streams, but in real life on a stage somewhere. And I don't think comedy will go away, but I think a lot of the bubble we had will collapse into that being the thing people want to come see. because I've seen like comedians come to town that I was really excited for as someone who like is around comedy all the time, and then people I know in my regular life, like coworkers, would be like, yeah, this guy with this like fucking Twitch streamer has a podcast. He's doing a live podcast at the same comedy club. Like, we're going to that. And like the comedian has like half the audience, and then the podcaster the next week sells out like 7 straight. They had to add a show on like Sunday and shit. Hey, make your money. Nothing wrong with that. But
I respect a hustler.
But I think that's where it's going. I think it's going to be more like influencers just showing up to be themselves and people being excited to see the person that they have a parasocial relationship with because they watch them on their phone every day.
Yeah.
That it's like, he could say anything. It's just like, that's the guy. That's the guy I wake up and watch every day on my phone.
So right. And you know what it is, dude? Things are becoming very...
I want to be that guy so bad.
Oh, God, I would love that. Please buy tickets, alexlabuti.com. I'm trying to change my life. It is funny how it's like a problem that I have with like Instagram and social media in general, not just Instagram, but like, we're kind of being pushed to have like a shtick now, which like you always had to have a personality and like a persona, you know what I mean? But I feel like now it's like I feel like people used to do things and you'd be like, you're a hack. And now that's like the point. Does that make sense? Like, and I'm not explaining it well because I obviously I have a style of comedy that's the same, and I make sketches that are similar or like, so like I'm kind of doing it. I'm not saying I'm not, but like I feel like back in the day there used to be more of an appreciation for like a varied kind of set, and like now it's like kind of what you said, where it's like George Carlin had a shtick, right? Mm-hmm. You would say, oh, I like George Carlin. I like his material about the government and about, liberals and conservatives and how the world works, whatever. Like, so he obviously has like a shtick, but like now it's like kind of what you just said, where you're the guy that every Monday you say, let's get it or something. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's your like.
I can't really talk because my whole online presence is just one shtick.
No, but you're doing different stuff every day. What I'm saying is like, I know comics that like repost the same videos and stuff and like put the same, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I do that too. I have stuff where like, I have a thing where like I'll do a bit about going to work or something. You know what I mean? Like I do stuff that's similar or the same or like recurring because you do want to build a relationship and blah, 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 blah. But like, I don't know, like, do you like, I know comics that will repost videos. Like they'll just do it and then like a month later they'll just put it up again.
I've reposted videos. I don't give a
fuck. Have you?
100%.
Oh, so am I just bad at Instagram?
Yeah, well, because it's so...
No, listen. I have like no followers. Maybe I'm bad.
What I'll say is my experience with Instagram, and I'm doing all right on it, but I'm certainly not an expert, is I want to do stand-up comedy. I'm a stand-up comic, and I got to a point where a lot of people told me, hey, you got to have social media to do this. Yeah. And so I started posting stand-up clips, and then I realized, because I was like 2 years into comedy, I had no jokes. It's like I've since deleted most of them because I don't want those jokes out there. But it's like, I realized after like the 8th video, it's like, I only have so many like jokes to put out on the internet. So what do I, that I think are good enough to put out there? And they weren't at the time, by the way. But so then what do I do? Okay, I could be a crowd work guy, but then I run into the issue that it's like every time I go on stage, I have to potentially burn my set to do crowd work and not work on the material I want to work on or have the set I want to have. Right. So then God forbid I do that if I'm doing a 15-minute set and I spend 10 minutes of it on crowd work.
Yeah, no shirt or something.
And nothing lands. Well, now I have nothing and I wasted a gig, know? So it's like, I don't want to do that. So I just needed to find something to do social media, and I wanted to do something that I thought was interesting because I'm like, if I'm going to be doing this every day, I better. So I figured, like, I eventually landed on like the new geopolitics and military-industrial complex because that's the shit I nerd out about and read about anyway. Naturally. So I was like, I'm annoying my friends with these conversations that they don't even want to have anyway. Why don't I just fucking record it one-sided and put it out on the internet?
Put it out. No, I guess you're right. I actually am thinking about it. I am eating my words because that's why I like I go on in the morning or I'll go on Instagram like for the first time of the day and your video will come up and I'll be like, oh, what is it today? So I guess you are right. It is like enough that that you're familiar with it, but it'll be different. And then that's how you can.
But what I was leading to say is like, so for me, social media, and I do enjoy. So I grew to like. I hated it at first. I grew to really enjoy it. I do look forward to interacting with people on there, and like I get a lot of joy out of like making my videos and stuff. But it's like it's ultimately a tool. So the tool is to get. While I enjoy it, the tool is to get more followers so that I can pitch myself to more venues, or I can get enough followers that I can just start doing my own tour because I have a critical mass. That's like I can. The idea at the end of the road, if I had like, whatever amount it would be, I don't know what it would take, but like hundreds and hundreds of thousands, I could just go to any major city in America and have a guarantee that like there's going to be enough fans of mine here from the internet that I can at least sell out.
70 people.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got 400,000 followers. You can find a fucking.
So that's how I view it. Is this goal. So when people get weird about like I don't want to look lame on social media, or like oh you repost your videos, or like you did something not that artistic, it's like. I post twice a day every day and have for like almost the last year. So it's like
that's what it takes. Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'm gonna repost one of the bangers because it's gonna get a lot of engagement. I don't have anything to talk about today, so I could leave it blank or I could post. And it's not like a video I don't like. It's like oh yeah, I remember I liked this video. People liked it. I'll repost it.
Right.
And it's
do you say this is a repost or do you just do it?
I just throw it out there.
Yeah, because who cares?
And people, my favorites, people be like, oh that's the wrong date for that. And then luckily my followers are almost all of them are super cool. They'll be like, hey, moron, that's a repost. Why don't you follow the guy? And I'm like, based, hell yeah, they got my back. I love the boys.
No, you know what? You are right. And that's something that I'm working through right now. I'm currently like, I'll still like make something and I'll like wait, like I'll like spend like 10 minutes being like, what should I caption it? Should I put a hashtag on it? But like slowly I feel like going like, just fucking, who cares?
Well,
man?
And
like,
this discussion, putting Xenon on air. They should sponsor me.
Don't worry, you're not on camera.
But no, it's like also, it's just like you have to look at the end goal you want. So it's like, do you want to be social media famous? Do you want to be a famous comic? And like, hey, it'd be nice to be social media famous, but I want to be a famous comic. I do.
Yeah.
So social media for me is a tool. Now, I'm not going to disrespect that tool. I'm not going to put out schlock and bullshit and, like, follow trends just to get views. Because, you could do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to make something I actually would want to watch as a viewer and that I'm proud of. But, like, hey, like, you just got to put it out there. It's not all going to be perfect. You're going to have to do some reposts.
Sure.
You're going to, every once in a while, have to cover maybe, like, a current event you're not actually that interested in.
Right,
but it would be, like, everyone would expect me to. I can't just not talk about this,
No, you're right. I mean, listen, man, it comes down to. It's funny you say that because I think about that a lot. Where I'm like, look, man, if I want this to be a job, then you got to do shit that I don't like. This is stupid. Like, and it just.
Well, no. So find something that's not stupid. Because I did that originally, and then I was like, well, why am I? I'm gonna make something I actually like.
Yeah.
And if it gets less views, it gets less views. It turned out it got more views because I was passionate about it.
Right. Well, it's funny. That's what's happening to me right now because I'm starting to put up stuff that I just think is cool or interesting. I was doing this thing about dead internet theory, and like some of my friends who were comics were like, that's like not funny. It's going to like confuse the algorithm, whatever, which it may. But I'm like, you know what, dude? I'm just going to start focusing on things that I think are cool.
Yeah.
And then it's like if you build it, they will come, right? Like you just kind of have to be patient. And like to your point, now you just got to post twice a day and just fucking wait. You know what I mean? Like you got to just,
And to just be realistic, it's like when I started doing the shit about like weird history stuff and military industrial stuff, just shit I found interesting, a lot of people were nice, but they were like, hey man, maybe that's not, like, who's this for? They were like, that's really weird. Like, that's great you're loving that, but maybe you should make... What if you did that about, like, some more mainstream, like, they, and well-intentioned caring about me.
But they're like, maybe make a sketch about, like, when you're at the grocery store and,
Literally,
no.
like, shit like that. I was like, no, I don't really want to do sketches. That's not what I want to do. Or, like, I don't want to do that kind of news.
Right.
And, hey, for about a year, I got nothing. I would post video after video to nobody. I'd have, like, one or two really cool people on the internet that I still DM back
That's
and
like
forth.
where I'm at now. Where, like, I have a small cohort of, like, names I'm recognizing.
Yeah,
they
you
like
recognize
that
the
again.
comments,
like, But, like, I know what you mean. But I'll still post stuff, and sometimes it'll get, like, 500 views. And I'm like, ugh.
But then all it took is one day. I posted a video, and I woke up the next day. It got no views that day. It got, like, the regular, like, 5,000 views.
Right.
I'm like, oh, well, that's what we do. And then I woke up, and, I mean, at that time I was posting, like, 3 times a week, because that was where I was at. I woke up, and it had, like, 500,000. I'm like, oh, my God. And then, and then nothing for another couple months. I was like, oh, that was my one-hit wonder. But then you just keep doing it, and eventually you build a critical mass of people that fuck with what you're doing, but more importantly, fuck with you, to the point where, like, you can do stuff that's, like I started doing this war stock tips. I was
funny.
only a news guy before that.
Right.
So I took a chance with that, but it was the thing where like I'd built enough trust with the audience that they're like, whatever he's doing is going to be at least I'll check it out. I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, I'll give it a chance. And
then,
it's funny. It is funny.
So you got to build that like amount to then you can do whatever you want.
Then
I'm
you
not
can do
there
whatever
yet.
you
I
want.
wish I was because I have some crazy ideas I like to do.
Yeah.
But like once we get to the 500,000, then I'll start really
Once we
showing
get to
you.
the 500,000. We're going to Riyadh, baby.
So that's my rant on social media.
No, like, actually, I'm glad that was very informative, and you really actually did just like change my mind about it. Like,
and just
actually,
put out shit that you don't even, not that you don't think is good, because that's bad advice.
Right.
But no, if you don't think something's perfect, but you're just like, I don't know, man, I like the idea, but I don't know if it's gonna hit. Just put it out, because don't like hesitate till it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because the only way it's gonna get perfect is by you doing it. Like I do videos
right,
much different now than I did even 6 months ago, even 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have learned that if I could have spent the next 5 years sitting around trying to make the perfect video. I would have never learned some of the stuff I learned just by doing. And honestly, shouts out to the comments. People would like, hey, this thing you're doing is fucking, I love the videos. This one thing you do is really fucking annoying. And I would look back at the videos and see I was doing it in all of them. I'm like,
you go, oh, that is annoying.
and I cut it out, and then it was,
Right.
so like you can only learn certain things by doing.
Which is like stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah.
It's give and take. You do that, you go, oh, they don't like that. I'll take that tag out.
Treat Instagram Reels like an open mic.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, there's only two possibilities. It either no one sees it, and that's the failure. It's like, oh, I only got like 800 views.
Right.
Okay, well, no one saw your fucking
Who cares?
failure. So it's like
Yeah.
it didn't happen. You can delete it later. Or it gets a ton of views. So even if you think it was not the best video, it got a lot of views. So it was a success.
cares?
There's no
Yeah.
failure in social media.
That's a very cool way to look at it. And it's funny because that is a good, I think about that a lot where I'm like, you know what, man, I always would think of my favorite comics. And again, you think of this when you start doing it for real. And I'd be like, man, like, how am I ever going to get to like a level that like can do this and can fuck? I mean, all the comics that I love are like fucking perfect. And then you go, oh, wait, I don't see all their fucking Tuesday night sets where they got their phone going, when you're like at the store, fuck that one. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm obviously, they're probably a little more professional now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
you
like,
also didn't
you don't see it.
The years before they popped where they were bombing bar shows and like getting
Ambush
nervous
shows
and trying to do like bad jokes because
Right.
they, like no one, like,
trying to be trendy.
Everyone had year one of comedy.
Right.
Even Dave Chappelle had a year one of comedy that probably wasn't that great.
Right, which is so weird to think
You know?
about, but you're like, yeah, dude, how else would it go?
But everyone
You know
thinks
what I
like,
mean?
oh, I got to go up there and be perfect. And I'm like, the only way you do that is by bombing a ton. The first 3 years of comedy, pretty much all I did was bomb.
Brutal,
all I
dude.
did was bomb.
You get little.
If I got one kind of like, I would call it a big pop, but realistically looking back, it was like I got like 5 of the 15.
Someone
people
exhaling
there.
out of their nose.
And I was like, I'm gonna be famous tomorrow. I better get ready for my Joe Rogan Experience appearance. And but it's like you have to go through all that, and then like around I don't even think I was funny till like year 5. Honestly, I think halfway through year 5, I started to have like 10 minutes that would consistently get some level of laughs.
And because you start to just feel yourself on stage more, you know how to. It sounds stupid. It's like you know how to stand on stage. You know how to fucking put the mic stand behind you. It's like little things like that where you're like, comedy. I think the thing I love about comedy is that I love things where you like don't realize you're like learning.
Yeah.
Like, because comedy's that kind of thing where, like, I couldn't tell you when I started to get better at crowd work. And I'm by no means a crowd work comic or anything, but, like, I used to be someone who was, like, if someone said anything, I would have to, like, ignore them.
I was the same
you know
way.
Because my crowd work would be like, well, what'd you say? So anyway, like, you know what I mean? It was like, and then I remember all of a sudden being like, oh, I talked back to on the last 3 shows, someone said something, and I said something back. And I'm like, when did I start doing that? Like, you know what I mean? You're like, you don't like.
The biggest thing I like to do that trips me out is like, I like to look back at a tape from roughly a year ago, or even 6 months ago. A lot of times, and I'll look back, and it'll be just night and day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this was a tape
I sent
to bookers. Like I sent to club bookers, being like, let me do feature work at your club.
Like I said, this is a New York comedy.
Yeah,
festival.
and I'm like, And I like, I said, I sent this to Skankfest, and I was so mad they didn't let me in.
Yeah, I'm like, man, they don't know what they're doing.
I was like, you don't know what the fuck, dude. And then I watch it back, and I'm like, thank God I would have embarrassed myself. Thank God they didn't let me in.
They did me a favor.
They did me a solid,
That's so
But
fucking
that's also
true.
because if you look back every couple months and you feel embarrassment, that means you're improving.
Right.
Because if you look back, you're like, this is still fire, man.
Yeah, this is still
That means you've gotten no % better in the last year or whatever since you recorded
that.
that.
It's so true, man. I always love looking back and just hearing, like, I had a tape that I did that I thought was sick, that every other thing, I just go, I don't know. Like, I'm like filler words, and like, I'm like, whatever, I don't know. Like, I'm doing like a Bill Burr thing, and I'm like, what is this? Like,
even like the same jokes, even if they haven't really been changed structurally that much, just the way you perform
more,
them.
yeah.
Because, this is the difference an extra 200 times of doing this joke made.
Will make.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, man. It really is cool. It's a beautiful thing, the stand-up comedy. It's a beautiful thing, and it's coming to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. I don't know. That's great. What do you think that the Riyadh Comedy Festival? Do you think this mulling of the Department of War is a direct response to the Riyadh Comedy Festival?
What do you mean by that?
Like, did you see that story how Trump wanted to change the Defense Department to the Department of War?
That's just common sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's what we do.
That's just what are we doing?
It is. That's...
When was the last time anyone got... the last time people got close to the American mainland was the fucking Cuban Missile Crisis, and we're like, we will legitimately nuke all of Europe if you don't turn those fucking boats around.
And they didn't even get
And they
to
turned
the
around.
mainland.
That was the closest to having to be on the defensive. And before that, the Japanese took over like one island at the, like Alaska?
Yeah.
They took over like the one island at the end, and we sent like 7 divisions. And the Japanese saw the boats, and it was like the one recorded time of them being like, we're getting the fuck out of here.
Really?
They pieced out. They're like, we're getting the fuck out of here.
They're like, no, guys, we were joking.
And the
That was a
U.S.
joke.
Marines patrolled the island for a month thinking that, like, they're in tunnels somewhere, they're hiding, we got to find them, we got to get ready on this, like, desolate island.
American soldiers are just fucking, they're like, we got to shoot something.
And like 7 American soldiers died on that island because they'd be wandering around like there's somewhere, and they'd shoot each other. Like, that was the only casualties we got.
Funny.
So that's like, can you imagine that's your grandpa? Yeah, my grandfather served.
Yeah. No, he got 2 kills.
Yeah,
Who'd
died
he
in
kill?
Alaska.
A guy named William. Like,
Yeah.
That's a Japanese guy?
Yeah, he married my mom when they got back,
Dude, but it is, Trump is so good for shit like that, where, like, do you remember when he was running in 2016? Like, just saying what's happening. Like, do you remember in 2016?
Go to riffing.
When he was going, when they were saying something about, I forget who they were talking about, but they were talking about, maybe it was like Saudi Arabia, they were saying something, maybe Russia, when they were saying, like, they kill people and they kill journalists, and he just goes, we kill people too. It's like
almost like a threat, though. He's like, we kill people too.
But it's just funny. And, like, remember when he was talking about the tax stuff, and he's like, I know there's loopholes, I do it. And everyone was like, whoa.
Just like, dude, Trump, like, I think this started with Obama. You could go all the way back. So the first,
let's go back.
Let's go all the way
Let's
back.
go back.
So American politics, because I feel like a lot of people know who the presidents were, but like they haven't gone back and actually examined those campaigns. I'm like I was gonna go to grad school before I discovered comedy. I was gonna try to be a professor. He was gonna
continue his education.
Yeah.
He reads.
Okay, the real answer is I got a little addicted to freebasing cocaine, and I had to not go to grad school for a couple years, and I discovered comedy in that in-between time and never went back. But so I'm not gonna say I left to pursue crack. I say freebasing, it was crack. That's what freebasing
Ironically,
is.
the crack is also probably what kept you up reading history books and things like that.
Dude,
double-edged sword.
One of my favorite things to do is I used to take a bunch of dabs, like the weed concentrates. I get so fucking high. And then I would be like nodding off and like paranoid. So then what I do is I take a Xanax to calm myself down.
Of course. Life is about balance.
But then I'd really be like falling asleep. Yeah. So I do a couple lines, and then what I discovered.
You were really crazy.
Oh, yeah, I was.
I mean, you've told me some stories, but yeah.
And so what I would do over time is like I would do the lines, and then I'd roll. Me and some buddies one time, we rolled a little bit of the dab. It's on the little what do you call it? Like the needle thing. We rolled a little bit of coke on it because we're like, that'll be fun. We're doing coke. We're doing dabs.
They're creative.
They're creative, and we do them, and it's like that was pretty nice. And so realistically, probably the first time was so little coke we didn't feel it. It was like a placebo thing.
Right.
But then we just kept doing it throughout the night, and all of a sudden the ratio of dab to cocaine on the end of that And the nail got hotter and hotter and hotter to properly melt the cocaine, which really hurt until by the end I'd be like home alone. After that night I would do on my own, and then like by the end I would be like there'd be like the tiniest bit of dab as glue, and it would just be like rolling up like a whole line on the fucking thing. I get the nail as hot as possible, and I'd hit it, and I'd be like, all right, we're on Xanax, we're on dabs. It's freebase, because I was also convinced
I'm not doing crack.
if you freebase,
Yeah, I'm not doing crack.
it's not crack, which technically it is different in that it's less efficient. That's the only difference, is you cook it to make it more efficiently smokable.
Oh, I watched the Hunter Biden interview.
So I was just doing really inefficient crack and convincing myself that I was doing freebase, which was somehow different. And
you're like, I'm Richard Pryor.
And I'm not even doing freebase because I'm just putting a little coke on my dabs, so it's not even freebase.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm like going through a fucking gram a night, only smoking it. And then I would just sit there. I would be on my bed with my laptop. I had like a big 18-inch laptop. It'd be on my chest.
And how are you feeling at this point? Like, are you excited, Ty? You're jittery, right? You're fucking wired. You got to do something.
So I would sit there with the laptop on my chest, and I would just fucking go down Wikipedia rabbit holes and read history and politics. And then I'd get too freaked out. I'd get up. I'd open the door because I was convinced someone was outside my apartment. Stereotypical cocaine use. Close it. I'd walk around, comment on some stuff on social media. Then I'd go back, do this. I get up, I try to jerk off, realize I've done a gram of coke, my penis isn't gonna get hard. I try for about a half hour. I'd put porn on my 80-inch TV, because it's all that was in my apartment was a bed, a computer desk, and a TV.
And crack.
And a lawn chair. So I'd sit in the lawn chair, fully naked, after smoking crack all night. I'd try to jerk off with a soft penis, with porn on the computer, porn on the TV, porn on my phone. So much stimulus. Give up, and then go back to reading Wikipedia articles in my bed. And now, so that's how I lived my life it was only that bad for about a year. It built to that. But the last year, that's most of what I was doing.
But that's a long year.
That's how I got a lot of history knowledge, though. It stayed with me.
So, kids, what did we learn? If you want to be an effective communicator, if you want to efficiently retain information, freebase crack, freebase cocaine. Turn it into crack. Have some class and turn it into crack, please.
Although I had the luxury of, because I would black out all the time, because you're gonna. Because I was also drinking the whole time, so I'm drinking.
Dude.
So I like to do the combo of Xanax, dabs. I liked gin and tonics.
Of course, that's the classic tree. That's the Three Musketeers right there.
Well, that was another one. I'm not an alcoholic because I'm drinking a classy drink. I'm drinking gin and I'm like Winston Churchill.
You're drinking dark liquor, reading about history.
Yeah.
I think you're a gentleman.
But then over the night, the first two would be gin and tonics, then it'd be a splash of tonic, and then I'd just be drinking gin, which is gross.
Why am I wasting this tonic? It's also hilarious. That's really an alcoholic, because gin is horrible.
It's not good.
Gin is not good.
I loved
it.
But yeah, so I would just be doing that, and I'd black out all the time. I'd wake up with the lawn chair tipped over. I'd be on the ground. I would wake up, the TV would be like, "Are you still there?"
Yeah.
And I wouldn't remember what I'd left. So I remember one of the last nights I went after it. So I'd stopped doing.
Was there a night that you were like, "Fuck, man, I gotta stop," or was it a slow burn?
So what happened with me is, just for both my parents were alcoholics.
Shit, I'm sorry.
Whatever. It runs in the family.
Right, okay.
And my dad got sober when I was 15. My mom got sober when I was maybe 20.
Okay, that's awesome.
But
I know what you're saying. So you grew up and you saw it. You saw what it you knew. Hey, I could be capable of this.
No, so I was a straight edge kid.
Oh no.
I listened to Judge and all that straight edge hardcore from the 90s.
That's
and
so funny.
I want this so dumb. I wanted to get X's tattooed on my hand.
You wanted to get
wanted to get the X's so I couldn't get served at bars. And
well, dude, I get it. You grew up in such an extreme. It's you went the whole other way.
The whole other way. But then what happened is, right? I went to college. I went to Syracuse, which is a big party school. I didn't know that. That's just
and now you're alone. You're not at home.
Yeah, that's the best school I got into, so I'm going to go to it. And I made it through and I would just be alone. I'm a nerd. I would be alone in my dorm, and no one was mean to me. I want to be clear. I wasn't bullied. Not woe is me. Just people you want to go to a party, and I'd go, and I'd be sober, and I'd be like, this fucking sucks.
Right.
Parties suck. College house parties suck if you're sober.
Yeah, and exactly, it's not personal, but it's that's the kind of thing. You're you want to bring Chris? Dude, he's gonna stand there. He doesn't drink.
So everyone was nice to me. I wasn't shunned or anything.
You're a good dude.
But I would just be in my room, because, all my roommates would go out. I lived in, like, a 3-person dorm room. And I would just, like, play, like, Dota 2, like, nerdy video games. I paint Warhammer figures alone. But, like, after,
That's about as straight edge as it gets.
I was playing fucking Thousand Suns all day, baby. But I'd be painting my Warhammer figures. And one day I was just like, dude, I'm missing out on the whole college experience. I have no good college memories. I had some, but, like, I'm not really having any fun. I like my classes because I was there for history. I was enjoying it. I want to have some fun. And I remember they were all watching March Madness towards the end of
end of March.
End of the school year.
Yeah.
And so they're all in, like, the big, like, someone had, like, a bigger room. I forget why. They had, like, a quad instead of a triple.
Well, you got to be friends with the kid who has the suite.
Yeah. So they, I go over, like, all the guys in the dorm, and I never watch sports.
Right.
And so I'm watching, I'm having fun. They're like, Chris, come on, man, you got to have one beer. Come on. And I was already kind of deciding, like,
and have you, at this point, you have never drank
anything.
Wow.
And
you've never even been.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And no nicotine, nothing. And I was like, I was about to turn 19 because my birthday's in April. Okay. So it was probably like March 20th or whatever it was. So it was almost my birthday. So I like to say I probably had my first drink at 19, just easier that way. But I was there, and they're all watching March Madness, and come on. And I already kind of made the decision I wanted to experiment.
Yeah.
I kind of made the decision. I was just kind of like, I didn't know how to, like, approach it. And they're like, come on, man, just drink. Come on, Syracuse is in the Final Four. Like, we're watching the big game that gets us to the finals. And I'm like, all right, if we're up in this game at halftime or whatever it was, quarter, whatever it was, I'll have a beer. Okay. And they were like, really? Oh, hell yeah. And they're all like bro dudes and frats and shit. They're so excited. And so they do it. Yeah, I don't remember if it was won the game or, like, up at whatever it was. I agreed to.
So it's Syracuse's fault.
Yeah, it's Syracuse fucking Raheem.
Who was the point guard that year?
Raheem Christmas, number 25, fucking slam dunked it.
Fuck you.
And
fuck you for what you did to my friend.
And so I have the one Bud. They give me a Bud Light, and I don't know. I'm thinking, like, oh, this tastes gross. I'll just drink it quick to get through it. And they hand me another Bud Light, and I'm like, oh, cool, same thing. Yeah. Hand me another Bud Light. I blacked out. I don't remember the rest of the night. So the first time I drank, I blacked out.
That's the first, like, also you're like, when does it work? I
didn't understand it was a delay or any of that. And then someone, I
remember thinking, like, you drink, like, one beer and then you're, like, wasted.
You're fucked.
Like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's not.
I was like, oh, I must, my parents were alcoholics. I must have, like, a high tolerance or something.
Robust.
I must be, like, good. Must be, like, gene memory or whatever. And then I woke up in my bed the next day, and the friends of the dorm were like, dude, you got, like, fucking crazy last night. What are you doing, dude?
You completely blacked out.
You
woke up in bed like, what?
I had, like, vague memories.
Right.
I remember saying, like, I wasn't, like, doing anything horrible. I was just being annoying. When someone's, like, too drunk, like, I'm not drunk. And they're like.
And it's your first time. So you're like, guys, I feel like this. Guys.
Yeah, it's like, guys, where are we going? And they're like, dude, it's 3 a.m. Go to fucking sleep.
Yeah,
like,
stop.
And so I wake up and I was like, oh, that's probably because it was, like, my first time drinking. And from there, though, long story short, I progressed to become an alcoholic throughout college. I then got really into weed. Which I was like, people say you can't get addicted to weed. I was smoking 24/7. Then I found dabs, and that was back before dabs were around here. So we'd order them off the dark web.
Oh my God, you're just using Bitcoin and shit?
Dude, I look back. Because back in, like, 2014 is when we started doing that. Bitcoin wasn't, like, anyone that knew about Bitcoin, it was like, oh, they were the dreamers. They're like, this will be the new world currency. But most people like myself thought, no, this is to buy drugs on the internet. At some point, the news will find out about this.
Right.
The government will take, and they'll shut it down. So
now it's like going to replace, like, fiat currency.
So our thing as friends was like, never keep too much Bitcoin in your wallet because you never know when the day it all gets seized by the government. We're all like stoners, we're paranoid.
Yeah.
So
it's a government, man.
I look back at, I did the math one day at how much. Because I would buy, like.
How much did you buy in today's value?
I did the math because it's like I would never have that much.
Sure.
Because I would buy, like, a pound of weed or, like, some acid or, shrooms, whatever.
Was it expensive at that time to buy, like, a pound of weed? Like, well, I guess, sorry, continue. Tell me how much it was and stuff.
It felt like it was, but in retrospect, it was like around $2,000, between $2,000 and $3,000, depending on what you were getting from where. And, I bought a pound maybe once. Right. I was really buying, like, personal use stuff. I bought a pound thinking I was going to sell it.
Well, I was going to say, you got to buy a pound at least once.
Yeah, I bought a pound. I was like, because I got a good deal. It was like, I don't know, like, and maybe it wasn't. Maybe it got totally
It's a good
off.
deal. See, and they say these Silk Road people are degenerate heathens. They gave my friend a deal.
Yeah, and I don't remember what it was. It was like between $2,000 and $3,000. That whole decade of my life's a blur. But, and I was like, I'm going to flip this. I'm going to sell it. And then, like, drugs would be, like, easy.
Yeah.
Dude, I just smoked it all and gave it away. I was just started.
You're like, oh, I'm a degenerate.
Yeah, I just started smoking like 10 joints a day. A friend would come over, man, I'm trying to pick up weed. Oh, dude, I'll just give you an ounce. Like,
take it, bro.
just take it. Do I?
have a
No,
funky
man,
bag.
I got infinite weed.
Yeah.
You can have as much as you want, and then
That's how it works. Some hot girl's like, I like smoking weed. You're like, I'll give you a pound.
It's so flattering that you thought any hot women were talking to me in this era of
hey,
my life.
if you have a pound of weed, a hot girl will talk to you.
So yeah, that was all gone in like 3 weeks. It didn't work. It was all gone. Well, yeah,
So the math. Did you
the
know
math.
how much you would've
I
spent?
did the math. One
my
day,
God.
me and my friend said that because it was like a group of 7 of us that did this. Half of us got sober, half of didn't end well. So
God.
the other, me and the half that got sober, we're doing the math one day. I'm like, oh, we're on the Tor browser, on the Silk Road, all that shit. How much did we each spend?
Oh my God.
I don't remember the numbers. I don't want to exaggerate because I feel like whatever I say, I'll be.
Just exaggerate.
It was gonna.
The fish is this big, baby. Let's
It
go.
was something. It wasn't crazy. It was something like $400,000, $500,000 I could have now.
Between all of you, or just
No,
you?
just me.
Oh my God.
Well, because you gotta think Bitcoin wasn't that expensive back then.
Right.
So, like, really, what it probably was back then in like 2014 to
Right.
2015, 16, maybe when I was doing this, it was like I
100
maybe
grand.
spent like $5,000, but like you do the thing over time, it's like
Compounding
it
fucking-
compound, and it's like, oh, that would have been a couple $100,000 I would have had.
Dude, I always think about the first. Remember when the guy paid Papa John's for the pizza?
Yeah.
And he paid like I don't remember how much he paid,
It was
but he
like
paid,
a Bitcoin.
and which is like he basically paid like $40K for
Yeah.
like in today's like I want to look it up.
Because I just remember I would have multiple Bitcoins in my wallet and think it was no money. And now that's like fucking
You'd like
80
retire.
G's, you know?
Oh my God, $41 in Bitcoin, $10,000 for 2
Yeah.
pizzas.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
that's fucking hilarious.
So it's just like, you look back, but then I have to remember, I would have never bought the Bitcoin if it wasn't to buy drugs.
right, so it's
so
not
it's
like,
like-
it's
it's
not
like,
like you fucking
Oh, I lost.
like you're Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I lost 350, whatever the number was, the $300,000 me and my friends did the math on. It's like, oh no, like I just would have spent that $5,000 on drugs in person,
Right.
and I would have spent more money for less drugs.
It just like
yeah.
US dollar. That's
Yeah.
all. Which, by the way, that is the fucking. You ever see that shirt, the Supreme shirt? You know, the Supreme shirt where it's like illegal business runs America. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's just I forget who it is. It's some famous guy who's getting arrested. Like it's like a famous New York City walkout. Illegal business runs America. I want to see who it's about. Oh, illegal business controls America. Who is it though? Oh, Igor Kotlyar.
I don't even know what that
I don't
is.
know who that is, but it's a pretty badass thing. But it's funny because we're talking about this, and this is kind of bringing it back to what we were talking about earlier, where it's like, how much of the economy was people like you, and currently is people like you, or people that were like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much
Yeah.
of the economy is just illegal or fake money that's being circulated through like the same groups of people, just like for goods and
Well, dude,
services?
like I was in that world heavily, which makes it sound so much cooler than it was. I was just a fucking junkie
Right.
for like 7 years,
You're like, I was in the world.
It's probably like I got sober at like 28, so from like 19 to 28. So yeah, it's like
Good
almost
for
a-
you, man. I'm happy
Thanks,
for
man.
you. I'm really happy.
But so I was probably hardcore into that scene, whatever you want to call it, for about 5 years, and it's like, and I was the broke one. Like I was cheap
Right.
because I was like, I had friends who were
Throwing
like actually dealing drugs and dropping tons of money, and like I honestly survived a lot through just hanging out with those guys, and they
Right.
would just break me off, whatever, like
Here's a little something.
yeah,
Here's a little something for the
like,
ride home.
that's how I kept my habit
Go
going.
get yourself a haircut.
Like those friends are like, yeah, here's a gram. They're like, what do I owe you? And like, nah, just take it. I don't give a shit.
They're like,
and
you
I'm
gave
like,
me free weed when you had a pound.
like just
Yeah,
that
you're
gram of
welcome.
coke, like looking at it, like So like my big baller move was giving people like an eighth of weed, and then these guys are giving me like 8 balls of coke. It's like I have like fucking ounces. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But it's like it just when I look at that, I was around so much money and so many substances that were worth so much money,
Right.
and I was not hanging out with like the guys that ran the city. No, like big time dealers.
Right.
Just like local dudes that dealt to like, like Norwalk, like a small like third-rate city in Connecticut.
Norwalk.
And they had access to so much money. I can't imagine if you're in a place like New York, how much money is going through there.
Dude, it is funny because like I think about this every time there's a mayoral race here. I like it comes top of mind again.
Yeah.
Where you're like, who the fuck and this isn't about Mamdani or about Eric Adams or anyone. Who the fuck do you think you are that you're gonna fix this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're really gonna look at New York City and be like, I have a plan. Like, what? Like, I mean, listen, it's good. We need people to do that, and listen, this city is run remarkably well. All things considered.
All things considered.
I mean,
I
know trains are late, and I know blah, 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 and there's trash on the sidewalk. Shut up and move, okay? But, I mean, it is, when you live here for a number of years, or people like us who just grew up in the Northeast and would visit New York and just understood, like, the beast that it was, like, I mean, it's a miracle that this place every day, like, works. But I'm like, I think something that I appreciate about New York is that I feel like it's a very authentic and real place in terms of it just, this place is what it is, man. You know what I mean? Like we just went out to dinner. Like, we were in a nice part of town. Like, sometimes there's a homeless guy there. It is what it is, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, I appreciate that, like, the city is just so honest. It's so brutally honest. But I'm always like, it's just so funny to me that there's never any talk about, like, where money's going or drugs or, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like they're always like the homeless people. And I'm like, okay, do you remember when that you may not remember, but there was the commissioner of the FDNY was investigated because he had like 3 Maseratis or something.
He's good at fighting fires.
Like, he's good at fighting fires. But I'm also like, here's my thing. I want my leadership to be a little corrupt.
So see, here's where I
Just
go.
a little corrupt.
I go the opposite.
Okay.
And this is, so I think all politicians are inherently corrupt. It's just,
yes, I agree.
To be the kind of person
to go for it,
that would go for it and then actually get it, like, you gotta make some deals with the devil.
Yeah.
Like,
you're a loose person. Yeah,
like, think what you want. I'm not making any, like, value judgments here. But Bernie Sanders, when everyone's like, Bernie Sanders is going to be president, I was like, no way.
No, he's not.
And it's like, it's like he was nice to the CNN reporter that asked him a leading question.
Right.
That's how I knew immediately. He's no way. He's going to be, I'm not saying he's like a saint. I don't know what, like, dirt there is on him. But the fact that he didn't, like, ruin that CNN reporter's career is like he's not the guy who's going to get it.
No, he
like,
doesn't. You need to have a little bit of a backbone. You need to be a little bit like a Trump, like a, hey, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to have a little bit of that. But if you have too much of it, then you're unlikable. If you don't have enough, then everybody likes you,
but you're not serious.
You're some loser.
Yeah. It's like the nice guy.
It's the nice guy. It's like, what's his name?
Bernie's a nice guy, but I'm not gonna fuck him. You know,
I'm not gonna
like,
fuck
whatever.
him.
He's my friend. You know, that's
I'll let him sleep over on the couch.
Yeah, because that's how unthreatened I am by Bernie.
No, honestly, Bernie, you can sleep in the bed with me. We're not gonna fuck. No, but I know what you mean. It's like you're mean and effective, or you're like Jimmy Carter. Like,
Jimmy. Like, I'll say,
but he was effective. Like, well.
Jimmy Carter. Listen, Jimmy
He
Carter.
made the not the World Wildlife Foundation. What did he do? He building houses and shit. Remember? He was
He does that now. That wasn't as like president.
Oh, so he didn't even do that.
No, that's just something he does.
So
Habitat for Humanity. He builds homes. So
nice guys finish last.
No, because Jimmy Carter was genuinely probably the best from a morals value person we've ever 100%. Had be president. Probably the best we ever had be like a congressman, even. You know.
Honestly.
So it's like. But then you saw how the presidency went. It's like, Jimmy, you're a wonderful man. That's why you... Here's a fun fact about Jimmy Carter. So when you're president, I forget the exact term, so don't flame me if I get this term wrong, but you're supposed to, in theory, put all your money in a, like, blind trust where you don't have access to any of your investments and some third neutral party runs it for you.
Really?
So you can't do
so
corrupt stuff. Now, every president before and after has found a way to skirt this because no one really enforces it. It's kind of like a rule that no one follows. It's like, technically they're supposed to, well, this is technically my daughter's name or whatever, so I'm not running it. I just help her run her stuff, like some bullshit like that. Jimmy Carter's the only president that actually did it. He actually put his money in a blind trust the way you're supposed to. And when he got out of the presidency, the blind trust had ran his farm into bankruptcy, and he got out with all his finances completely fucked.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So he basically had like what happened to like Rihanna, like when
Yeah.
the accountant was like skimming
Yeah,
off the
pretty
like
much.
looking good, Jimbo.
He got Madoff for doing the right thing.
I was just reading it. It literally, I typed it in, and the two presidents it said Jimmy Carter famously put all of his in there, and they said Donald Trump is not doing like he's doing like some like hybrid version of it, like because he's probably like I'm
No, exactly. Like I'm saying, like it's in my daughter's name. It's not my money. I just help advise
You just
her
gave it
on
to
how
Jared
to.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. I mean.
So that's why you can't have nice guys be president.
It
I'll
just
take that back.
sucks, man.
Nixon was a nice guy. He was a great president.
Nixon was a nice
Unpopular opinion. I think he's the most moral person we've had in the office.
He did leave on his own accord.
People forget. Nixon.
I do think he was like kind of like framed.
He was 100%.
I'm a conspiracy guy, but I do believe that he was not like JFK, but I'm saying he was like JFK in that he was trying to like do his own thing, kind of. And I feel like the men in the suits were like, whoa, this was not.
Well, you know,
what we
part of
agreed
why
to.
they think they Watergated him, if you believe that he was framed, because people don't know this. Like him and JFK were friends. Like they had a very deep respect for one another, even though he had lost.
Well, that
the
was
election.
back then. I mean, that
Yeah,
was
that was
back
back
when
then.
you respected your fellow countryman and everything.
Where it really was just like, oh, I respect this guy. We just have different visions of how to make America the
Right.
best, but we both
But I
want to
respect
make
him as a fellow American.
Yeah, and we both want to make America. There's no bad guy in the race.
Right.
Right. And so he apparently was, and this is a little conspiratorial, but like he was digging into like what actually happened with JFK.
He
like,
was.
Yeah, he was like asking around and like putting people on assignment to be like, what happened to my friend? I think there's somewhere there where he's like, I think the CIA killed my friend. And those are his exact words.
Yeah.
And
then Watergate was like the next day.
Yeah, Watergate was like, all right. And the whole thing is like, well, we can't kill another president.
Yeah.
So
they're like, we just killed one.
We just killed one.
It
was like 2 presidents ago. So they're like, we got to do something else. Because if you look at it, he did not order Watergate. Those guys that worked for him weren't even his guys.
Yeah, at that night, they weren't his guys. It's like, why were they with him?
So what happened, though, is then one of his guys found out about it, tried to cover it up, came to Nixon. Nixon then found out about it, tried to cover for his guy. You know, say what you want.
Now it's snowball.
He could have thrown the guy under the bus. He was loyal. He's like, no, you fucked up. We're going to fix this. It's not a big deal. And also you have to ask, Nixon ended up winning that election because Watergate didn't get broke till much later. Nixon won that election on a mandate. He won every single state in the Union except for Massachusetts where his competitor was from.
Yeah.
He knew that going into the polls. Why would you need to go spy on your competition if you're going to win 95% of the vote? There's no reason to do that. And he's smart. So he was very smart.
Of course.
He's not going to risk that over that.
Yeah,
And then the guy who breaks the scoop used to work for the FBI, switches to private media as a reporter, and his first big scoop happens to be He just happens to be the reporter that discovers it.
I got this like stupid random story. Maybe it could be better for a
They didn't go to any other senior reporter with the information. They just happened to go to this brand new reporter that just happened to work for the FBI a couple of years ago.
Dude, it is crazy. Like, and I'll tell you, man, my day job is I do publicity. So I'm a PR. I do like freelance PR stuff like that. And dude, I mean, the media's always been crazy and always been bad and always been predatory and reframing things and whatever. But I remember I forget who said it. I feel like it was like a Nick Mullen joke or something. But like somebody like they were like, isn't it funny how people just go like, you know, they go like, yeah, you know, we did a false flag for Vietnam, and you know, Watergate may have been this, and JFK may have been shot, but the government doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore. And it's like, no, they're just probably even way better at it now. Like, and by the way, right now what's happening, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but right now what's happening is I feel like they're setting up infrastructure like the Palantir stuff to really, like, I feel like we're going to be in, like, Minority Report.
Well,
like, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be like, hey, Chris, your brainwave indicated that you were getting angry at President Trump, and we'd like to have just a little chat.
We're going to have Patriot Act 2.0. They'll call it something else, but it'll be the next wave of the Patriot Act. That's why they're building all the Palantir infrastructure. That's why they're doing all that.
Scary,
they're going to use AI to run it all.
This podcast.
Yeah, I'm fucked. Dude, I'm
We're
fucked.
fucked. Please buy tickets. We have to blow up in the next couple years.
Yeah, so I have to be big enough that my death can't look like an accident.
Yeah, I have to be big enough that Trump will be like, all right, well, come be one of us. That's
and also
what I mean.
to any despotic regime that's going to activate this, I'll switch. I'll be on your side. Let me run your PR.
Can I say something? I'm so bored of government, bureaucracy, red tape. Let's go regime. And I just want to say in microphone, whatever the regime is, I love it. Here, you know what? I'm going to create an edit. I love the regime. I would love to work for regime.
You know who here's what I want to happen in politics. This is how I think we could fix America.
Let's do it.
Military junta. The U.S. military takes over the government. They kill, I think I have to say allegedly. No, this is a joke. This is a joke, U.S. government. U.S. government, this is a bit. I'm a
U.S. government, we have no power or influence
or
money.
This is a joke, and no one should take this seriously.
Can I be honest, U.S. government? If you did take this seriously and share it, it would help us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It would help my career. Okay,
no.
We're kidding.
Military junta, as the joke, the military junta comes in. They kill all of Congress, whoever's the president at the time. They kill his whole cabinet. They kill all the senators.
Clean house.
Governors can stay, but they gotta get in line.
We do when a frat rapes somebody and then they go clean house. We're not getting rid of the organization, but we're getting rid of the e-board.
Yeah, the whole pledge group is you're all done. Yeah, and then I'd say we have General McKinley, who is the head of, you know how America has several commands?
Right.
Like you always hear CENTCOM.
Right.
Is like the one in the Middle East, the most important right now, even though it should be INDOPAC, but that's
Is something going on over there?
Honestly, not really.
Not really.
Honestly,
being overreacting.
We should divert everything to INDOPAC to get ready to fight China, but I'm not in charge of these.
But who are we? What do we know?
I've just been right about every geopolitical event for the last 2 years. So you get there's this guy, General McKinley.
Okay.
And so all the command guys, like CENTCOM, all those, they're always either Air Force or they are Army.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, historically, you get a Navy guy, but almost never. It's always.
Why is that?
I think because Air Force has the intelligence branch, so I think it makes sense politically that they go into that, and Army is the biggest branch, so it makes sense that they would get it.
Be involved, yeah.
McKinley is one of the only Marines to have ever been in charge of a command, so they all go to meetings with all the commanders, and they're all wearing their, their military uniforms. And he shows up in the Marine, because the Marines wear a different dress uniform. He shows up in the Marine.
The Marines are the pretty boys.
Yeah, he shows up in the Marines
with the sword and everything.
Yeah, and he's like,
let's go.
He's like, what are we doing, boys? And McKinley is.
They're like, you're in charge.
He's like, he rules. Yeah. Everyone else is smiling in their photos.
Oh no.
Death stare.
No, he's here to kill.
He's this huge black guy that just death stares the camera.
With a sword.
With the Marine uniform on.
Full regalia.
Just ready to fucking go. And they literally, it's theorized, right? Because it's that they put him in Africa Command to keep him away from any real conflict. Because he's just so fucking, let's go.
Ready to go.
Let's fucking kill everybody.
Well, Marines are crazy. Go ahead, did I cut you
off?
Oh,
yeah. No, so he's literally, they stuck him in, because nothing happens really in Africa that requires major American involvement.
Barbecue.
So that's what, yeah. Listen, he
loved that.
He was railing against when the DR, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda thing was happening a couple months ago. It's been going on for forever, but Americans only cared about it the
Everything's
last 6
been
months.
going on forever.
And he was petitioning, let me just send in a couple planes. We could mop. Let me just. They're like, no, we can't. We can't get involved in Africa. And he's like, come on. My boys need action. Let us go in. And I think you put him as the new supreme leader. He's no nonsense.
He is no nonsense.
He doesn't care about wealth or influence.
He doesn't even want to be president. What would his title be? Just McKinley.
War Chief McKinley.
War Chief McKinley.
We get him an old school Native American headdress, but in a not in a cultural appropriation way, in a respectful way.
Hey, and you know what? Listen to this. And what do? We get Native Americans in the cabinet. You're welcome.
I got beef with them.
I got beef with them?
I'll say this publicly.
Say it.
I have lost so much money at the Mohegan Sun Casino that I've probably sent several Native children full ride through college. They've had enough. I don't want to hear it from them.
They've had enough. I have lost enough at Mohegan Sun, and I've been not paid enough at Comics Roadhouse.
I have been. That was my personal trail of tears. Is what happened at the blackjack table. From the years 2023 to 2024. I had a very short gambling career.
Very short gambling career. Just goes to show you how crafty they are.
Well, it just goes to show you can get addicted to it. So I was sober, and I was like...
your
and
brain's
I
looking for something
immediately got
else.
addicted. I never gambled before, and I blew through a lot of money I could not afford to lose. gambling.
And you're like, I gotta stop this.
I gotta stop.
I like your plan. I like the here's the thing. Marines are fucking crazy.
But here's the thing. They are, because I know a lot of like service members.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, I'm gonna tell you something cool after this.
And they're all like very much about like the Constitution.
No, they're crazy in the best way.
In the best way.
They're crazy about their pledge to the Constitution, not to any leader, not to any president, not to any...
So that's why I think they'd be so good as the military takeover, because McKinley's like... Because you don't get to be a general without being... Say what you want about the U.S., our military is replicated all over the world. We have the best military doctrine is because it is the purest form of... What's the word? Merit. It's like all done on merit.
Yeah.
There's really...
It's accolades.
It's accolades. So it's like anyone that's in that position fucking earned it and had to also be a really solid person with morals to allow them to be trusted with that.
Bro.
So I think McKinley comes... I don't think he takes any wealth for himself. I don't think he does anything fucked up with power. I think he just comes in, he's like, here's what we're doing. If you want to disagree, you're getting shot in the head. It's for everyone. It's for the best of everyone.
But not in a mean way.
Not in a mean way. It's just like, you need to shut the fuck up.
A matter-of-fact way.
Like, you try to go protest. It's like, I'm sorry. We're going to have to shoot you now. I'm giving you one warning, and then we're opening up an MG42 on the crowd.
Well, dude, listen. My cool story. My uncle is a certified fucking legend.
Hell yeah.
Retired Marine Lieutenant General.
Oh, hell yeah.
Worked as Undersecretary at Homeland Security. Worked, oversaw, went to the Citadel, oversaw like over 80,000 Marines. Like he went to Somalia, went to Vietnam, went to fucking, they had a joke where they were like, why do you keep coming back? They're like, stop, like retire. You've done enough. But I always felt like him and people that he was friendly with that were also, like you're saying, I mean, the real deal, real Marines and stuff. You're like, why aren't you guys just running everything? Like he is so cool, calm, and collected. He doesn't freak out. He doesn't get angry. He could probably keep a secret. But I'm saying, like, and he's smart. Like, he knows so much about, you know, like, he would say stuff. Like, I think back when I was, like, a kid and, like, conversations, or he'd be like, yeah, you know, I wonder if this or that. And then, like, 10 years later, I'm like, oh, my God, he was right. Like, you know what I mean? Not that he had information, but it's like he just knew the lay of the land so well. Like,
when everyone listening to this is probably freaking out, you're thinking of like one-term enlisted guys that do 4-6 years get out, and you're like, we can't have those guys. Meet a high-level military officer in the officer corps,
like a career,
who's a career guy who's done 10 years and is going to do another 15.
Yeah.
You will feel comfortable having them be the governor.
No, dude, they don't, because you know what it is? It's almost like it's like you said, they have a respect for, well, you know what? It's ironic. It's like the best people who would be president are people who don't want to do the job.
Yeah.
Right? And this sounds goofy, but it's like people like my uncle, when you get to that rank, you don't want to go to war. You don't want to kill people. You're
going to be the one ordering your guys who you are in charge of to die.
It's like the Few Good Men, like where he's like, you know, he's like, I'm the one who's standing guard at the wall. You know what I mean? When Jack Nicholson is saying, and when he's like, you don't understand. Like, we're the ones there, and we're the ones who get this for real. Like it's like, I always think about how people will so flippantly be like, you know, they're like, why don't we just like bomb Iran? And it's like, because you can't just bomb like a place. Like,
we can.
Well, you can, but it's like people like one of my issues with like Trump is that I feel like he's so just like all over the place. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what if he has a bad day and he's like, fucking push it? You know what I mean?
Again, egregious. I wish he was more like. I think he's too conflict. So I'm a warmonger.
He's very conflict averse.
I'm a Kissinger acolyte.
Oh, okay.
Kissinger's
You're Kissinger
my hero.
So you hate Cambodia, you hate Vietnam.
No, I don't hate. It's just like sometimes they got to learn a lesson. You know, they get a little uppity. But no, like, so when people ask me what my politics are, I'm like, I'm a Kissinger guy. So we're not really around anymore.
We're a dying breed.
We're a dying breed. But it's like America should be the global hegemony. We should be the undisputed world leader.
Back-to-back world champs.
Back-to-back world champs. The entire economy should flow towards us, and anyone that gets close to challenging that, kill everyone. Anyone who opposes that, kill them. The fact that BRICS exists, the
it's
CIA,
crazy.
When I saw whatever it was a couple of years ago when BRICS really got going, it's like, CIA, kill all 5 of those leaders. They're all in the same, blow it up. And it was like, oh, they're going to nuke.
And it's not like we don't know where they would meet or we wouldn't be able to figure it out.
So like my current again, this is a joke. This is such a, oh my God.
This is a joke,
it's
guys.
a bit. Calm down.
Buy tickets.
It's a joke. But this bit, if I was head of whatever you need to be ahead of to make this happen.
Whatever I can be head of to press the button.
Yeah. So CIA, if I was CIA guy, because they've really been dropping the ball.
Yeah, they need some new talent
So
in there.
what you want to do is the fact that we've allowed China to get as developed as it has is insane to me. The fact we've allowed them to have any influence in Asia and Africa, which they are getting more and more of every year, is insane to me. The fact that we've let the trade ratios go to where more countries are trading with them than
They're
us,
mining, bro.
unacceptable. Here's what we do. The Uyghurs, the Chinese Muslim minority in the Northwest,
Is that what they're called? Yeah, don't take us off YouTube. No.
Hui. It's with a Hui.
Hui.
I got to be very careful. That's the only one I won't anglicize. I really pronounce it in the true Chinese.
That is
because you anglicize that one, it's gonna sound a little different. So they're a Muslim minority, but there's like millions of them. They're literally being put in concentration camps. Like no one really talks about it, but there are. It's not a conspiracy. Like there's news about this if you dig for it. It was big a couple of years ago, and then everyone got bored of it. But like they're literally getting put in they've not committed any terrorism. And they're like, it's not a reason they did it to them. Mm-hmm. They're just getting put in concentration camps because China views them as not Chinese,
right.
And they want to open up the land for I think there's oil or something, or they want to build. They want to do some project out there, so they're trying to move them
Who
off.
likes oil?
They're trying to move them off their land, put them in concentration camps. They kill all their leaders. CIA, this is so simple. This is so simple.
I mean, this is a 1, 2, 3 ABC. I mean,
you fucking drop one badass that knows what he's doing, maybe two. He needs a partner. Yeah. Drop two guys down there.
I mean, listen, two would be better for the movie too. That
would
be
better.
The movie adaptation,
dialogue.
you know, because then we have Chris Pratt.
Drop me and Alex in there.
Yeah,
right? We'll go there. Teach these guys how to use a fucking bomb. You're telling me there's an oppressed Muslim minority, and this is the only place in the world where that hasn't resulted in terrorism?
We can't honeypot anybody?
The only place that's happened where there's no terrorists. Get them a fucking bomb.
Guys, do what we're paying you to do.
And then you get them, right? You get, you figure out how to make, an ISIS group out of them. You get a few good men. You get 30 bros out there who see the vision, who are ready.
30 bros. Just 30? Well, I won't say it.
Because all the other ones are like, oh, we're trying to be peaceful, and we know the global community.
No.
They're
boring.
Listen,
Top Gun. All right, actually.
Bomb.
Do you want to wear the Top Gun? Oh, no, you got
my
Ally Pacific.
So we got to get those guys. Bring them to southern China. There's this little place, a lot of you might know it, called the Three Gorges Dam. It's the largest, I believe it's the largest dam in the world, if not one of them. And if you were to blow it up, which would be, it's a dam. It takes one bomb, the whole structural integrity's fucked, and it cracks, like in the movies. It the one little crack.
Because I'm sure you couldn't get the blueprints either.
Yeah, it starts with one little crack, and then it goes up, and then it's psh, that's what's going to happen. So you blow up the Three Gorges Dam. You get you only need 5. Get 5 of these guys. Make them fucking terrorists. Give them a bomb. It doesn't even need to be a big bomb.
It doesn't even have to work. Just give them the material.
Yeah. Get them
Mail them some fertilizer. We can get them on that.
The fucking Unabomber could figure this out. Get them over there. Blow up the Three Gorges Dam. Now, what that's going to do when you blow up the Three Gorges Dam is it's going to, I forget the name because I don't have my notes. It's going to flood whatever that valley is. Oh. Now, about, I think 150 million Chinese people, it's estimated, would die if the dam overnight just let all the water go. So you kill 150 million Chinese. That's a good start. You're also going to flood 3 of the major cities, which are crucial to their machinery manufacturing and their steel production. So you're going to knock out their industrial sector for anything you need to build war weapons. And it's where most of the Chinese food, good fertile land is. That's why they built a dam to get the fertile land. It used to be riverbed. That's all going to flood. They can't grow crops in 80% of the places where they used to grow crops, and it's going to take out 10% of China's electric grid is hydroelectric from that. So you've completely fucked them. Then you have to remember, even with that land, before it's flooded, China's a net food importer. It means they eat more food than they produce, so they have to bring in food. So you blow up the dam, you take out their only local food production, steel production, and large machine manufacturing production. You kill 150 million Chinese at a low estimate. You knock out 10% of their power grid, and then China doesn't have a fucking navy. I don't care what anyone says. Their navy's bullshit. Yeah. Throw up the U.S. Navy, do a blockade, starve them out. Wait till they get down. Wait till they get down to 30% population. You kill almost 1 billion people. And then, boom, China's not a threat for the next 50 years. It's that simple.
Yeah, that sets them back.
It's fucking...
That sets them back. Here's all we're looking for. We're not looking to take them out. We're just looking to have our lifetimes be a little,
I just need another 50 years.
I just need another 50, all right?
We already took out Russia with the Ukraine bullshit. You think we care about the Ukrainians? No, they're expendable. That's why we threw them at the Russians. That's why
they're not in NATO.
Yeah.
because they're fucking expendable.
Literally.
That's a brilliant plan.
No, so America's accomplished, to the CIA's credit, they've accomplished a lot. So through the Middle East thing, I'm not making any sort of statement on that. I'm just talking CIA optics, right? I don't want to hear it. All right, everyone.
We are not in Mossad. I wish we were. I wouldn't have to do this stupid show.
So through Israel as our proxy, and through ISIS, because people forget we made ISIS.
Thanks, Obama.
We were able to use those two in conjunction to flip Syria and take out the Assad regime, one of Russia's biggest allies, which super embarrassed Russia that they had to let their ally fall, got rid of an enemy in the Middle East, and created a massive power vacuum to make that region more unstable so that Saudi Arabia would have to pull closer to the relationship with us for protection over what now the new ISIS government might be start looking at them, right? We destroyed all of Iran's proxies with Hamas and Hezbollah. They're basically gone. Their command structure's done. They're cooked. All their networks are gone. Yeah. We blew up Iran's nuclear infrastructure, which, to be fair, wasn't that successful. We bragged about it and then realized we barely did any damage.
Yeah.
But the principle is, it was cool.
We did it!
And also, the big thing about that wasn't about blowing up their nuclear infrastructure. What that was about was showing everyone that we could get a B-2 bomber through several enemy nations' airspace with no one noticing.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because that's how I interpreted it. Because I remember there were all these things where they were like, they missed it, that wasn't even the right one. And I was like, I feel like everyone's missing the point that we did it, though. Like we were able to get a fucking giant death machine over your place, and you didn't realize, or you didn't have the means to stop it.
And that's the thing. So this was a dick swinging contest to get China in check, because China monitors that airspace. Yeah. And China's got high tech top of the line stuff.
Sure.
They're like number 2 dollars.
Well, they steal all our shit.
Yeah, but they got all the number 2 stuff. They got billions of dollars. Right. They got really smart people working on it, right? Mm-hmm. They did not detect the B-2 till after they were informed it bombed.
They did it.
So it flew right next to their airspace, the airspace they monitor, where they were convinced that the Americans could never use a B-2 on us because we have the technology. We can't test it because we don't have a B-2, but we're pretty sure we could have detected it. And in the past, we fly B-2s low when they're just going from like one deployment to like Diego Garcia. We fly them low so everyone can see them, so you don't know their full capabilities. Right, and gave you the false sense.
Yeah, we treat it like a gentle giant.
Yeah, the false sense of reality. It's like, oh, that's probably close to its cruising height. We can detect it, not knowing it goes in the fucking stratosphere and you can't detect it. So that freaked out the Chinese, and it freaked out everyone else because everyone else was like, "What the fuck? They can do that?"
And we never use them.
Never.
So like to use it, everyone's like,
it was a flex.
Okay.
And we destroyed Russia with the Ukraine conflict. Everyone saying Russia's going to invade Europe next is a fucking moron. They can't even take over Ukraine. They've lost all of their fighting age men. They've destroyed their economy. They destroyed
their morale.
They've lost most of their high-tech fighting gear, like their helicopters, their planes, their tanks, right? They lost all the top stuff. They lost all their special forces, all the fucking KGB and the Chechnyan special forces all died in the first year. They also, the biggest thing is they lost their Cold War era stockpile, which they were forced to use, which is old material. So it's not like that was scary for them to have.
Yeah, they had like, we got a Panzer tank.
Well, it's all their old missiles. And so it wasn't scary for them to have those old missiles because they have way better stuff, which they've also since used. It was the fact that they could sell that to a third world nation to oppose us in the future.
Right. Now they got nothing.
Now they got nothing. So now that's not going to go to like Angola or something and be a fucking problem later. It's out of the picture.
And it can't be used as a bargaining chip. It can't be used as a loyalty test. It can't be used as any sort of influence.
And so now the Ukrainians are like, why aren't you supporting us? And it's like, oh, no. We did all our objectives.
We did our thing.
We got everything we want.
Good luck with that.
We hope you win because we hate Russia. But like, if Russia, out of losing basically all their global power, gets like the equivalent of like Crimea, the state of Massachusetts out of you, that doesn't really change the bottom line.
Unfortunately,
for us. They can have
to make a decision, and it's you.
So
that's crazy.
America's been doing great in terms of CIA level foreign policy shifts. Where we're fucking up really hard is with the NATO stuff. I went over this a lot on other podcasts, so I won't go deep on it. But like, we fucked up our relationship with NATO. Those are supposed to be our colonies. We don't want them paying a fair share. We don't want them remilitarizing. We want to be
the big dog.
We want them to be reliant on us.
We want to be the dad, the parents.
Let's have Germany, the strongest economy in Europe, start being self-reliant.
Yeah.
Are you fucking no?
We let them do that twice actually.
Don't let them have anything. Have them rely on us for defense, and we make all the money back in trade. That's unfair to them that they have to do with us to keep us happy. The only thing we're fucking up on is we're so fixated on the Middle East because of the GWAT, the Global War on Terror, that we've shifted all resources and the best and brightest minds to CENTCOM.
And our optics. Like again, now bring it back to the media. Like now we all care about
exactly
and stuff.
All to CENTCOM. Everything should be going to Indo-Pac. Indo-Pac is the command that's going to be fighting China. They're going to be the ones defending Taiwan. They gave all their fucking, I'm going to say the wrong name, but their T-Lambs over to CENTCOM when the Israel thing kicked off. That was fucking stupid. They moved all their B-2s over to Diego Garcia to support CENTCOM. That was fucking stupid. All that shit should be over in Indo-Pac getting ready to intimidate China. And since we've stopped focusing on the Pacific, you see the Chinese are bullying the Philippines, going into Philippines water, harassing their boats, flying their navy through restricted areas. They're doing the same thing in Taiwan, the same thing in Japan.
And the trade ships and they're fucking with everybody, yeah.
And it's like, that's why we should blow up the Three Gorges Dam. But
wait, I looked it up. Do you want to know the city that Three Gorges Dam would flood? Wuhan.
Get him! Get him!
Life is art!
Get him!
Dude, that was an incredible... that was an incredible stream of consciousness that I really enjoyed that. And you just said something that got me thinking. Just like we did, like, did you see when Trump met with Putin and he flew the B-2 over and everybody's like, oh, he spent that much money to...
That was so fun.
And I'm like, oh, it was funny, but I'm saying it's the same. That wasn't because Trump thought it was cool. It was.
I mean, it might have been a little bit because he thought it was cool.
No, it is cool. But what I'm saying is, I viewed that as similar to the Iran thing, where he was like, "Just so you know, it's right above. You didn't even notice that, did you?" Or like, "That's what it looks like. Yeah, you see it.
And then
we got it." And like, do you think that? Because I always viewed it as like, right now we're talking about. Ironically enough, Trump ran on reducing the deficit. I think with the big beautiful bill, clearly that's not going to happen. Not that I thought he was going to reduce the deficit, but. I had like an epiphany where I was like, does it matter? Because everyone always goes like, well, what happens if America defaults? Like, then we take the B-2s out, baby. Like, right? Like, is that obtuse to think? Or like, because I'm like, if push came to shove, it doesn't matter that we have debt because we have the bomb, bro. Like, it's like we're keeping it in the air, and even if we drop it, our ultimate fail-safe, I don't want to use it, but it's like, we could just be like, trade with us or you're gonna fucking die.
Well, the problem is, because a lot of people have that idea, and that was probably true in the 90s.
Okay.
The problem is we have stretched ourselves so thin, and in focusing so much on the Middle East, which ultimately in the grand scheme of things is not an important region outside of oil, and even then we have oil in Alaska. Just allow us to drill there. We don't need the Saudis.
Yeah.
But in doing all of that, we've allowed, really it's only China. We've allowed China to catch up so much, and they're still behind us by a good bit. But they've made so much progress that you give them another 20 years of doing that, it might be more even.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, unpopular opinion, we still have the advantage. It's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller with each passing year, not to mention the fact they have a bigger population. So when they do catch up to us military technology-wise, they're actually way ahead of us.
And they have a more organized population. I don't want communism here, but I understand how they're like, guys, we're all doing our own thing, and they're like fucking...
Yeah, hey,
they're
it's
locked
effective.
The fuck in, yeah.
So it's like, I'm kind of very pro. Go to war with China right now. No, listen.
You think we could handle it? Like we could, yeah.
Everyone who thinks we can't's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's the options with China. We keep waiting, and they economically take over the world, and we turn into a backwater that people don't have. Because everyone's like, we got the strong economy with the tariffs and shit. We got the strong economy. They have to deal. Yeah, they have to deal with us because we built this system that benefits us. If they have to go off that system, yeah, it's going to be growing pains for a decade, and they're going to figure out other ways, and then we have no power. So that could happen. China will take away all our power economically, and then we're irrelevant.
Yeah.
Number two, we go to war with China at a later date and fucking lose. You know,
which would be devastating.
I think it's going to be the economic. I don't think China actually wants a war with America. They're smart.
I don't think anybody does. I don't think, it's never...
The third option, which is these morons are waiting for, is like China has a lot of problems. I could list a bunch of them, but it would take forever to explain the backstory. But the biggest one being that their economy is largely fake. Yeah. They manipulate their currency. They won't let it
They don't share information.
Yeah, they won't let it publicly be traded like the U.S. dollar is. So
they could just be making up numbers. Like Alibaba made this much money. They could just be making
It's not
it
even
up.
that. So like with the U.S. dollar, it's tied. It's called the petrodollar for a reason. Because when we went off the gold standard, we tied it to oil, specifically Saudi oil.
And then they'd have to use our U.S. dollars to trade.
So everyone in the world wants U.S. dollars. Mm-hmm. Poorer countries will take a cheaper price to get it in U.S. dollars than in any other currency.
Interesting.
It's a real thing.
Well, it just makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so because they're more stable. Now, that leads to problems where we can't control the dollar as much. That's why inflation gets, not the only reason, but that's part of the reason why inflation can get crazy, because we can't control what Vietnam does with all the billions of U.S. dollars it has. It could fuck up the market if it wants to. Now, they don't really want to because they're tied to it.
And they lose too, but to your point,
they could.
These are factors that do happen.
And it does happen every once in a while when a country starts trading off all its U.S. dollars, it tanks. So China doesn't do that, though, because they want to control their currency. So you can get Chinese dollars, but I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough to simply explain the specifics.
Right.
But they don't trade it the same way. You can't just like openly trade Chinese yuan.
Okay.
So that's their currency manipulator. So all their money's basically fake and not backed by anything, and that goes into their stock market. Never invest in Chinese stock because all partially government owned, and a CEO can just go missing. And don't do that. The second thing with them that might be a benefit that could collapse, and that could be great. The second big thing is with that fake economy, they have a bunch of fake infrastructure projects. I'm sure everyone knows about it. They're building these ghost cities and all this shit, and it's all poor construct. Like, China has all this futuristic infrastructure in the places where people live. All of it's shit.
Yeah.
If you don't constantly maintain it, if they run out of money at any point, it's going to collapse in like 10 years. It's the worst.
Shitty stuff. It's like, when you are when you're in New York City, they build those like link things on the side of the like sidewalks, and you're like, okay, it's like a solid equipment, whatever. But then it's like, these things that they probably have are like when you're like waiting in line at like a a ride, and you're like, tapping, you're like, is this plastic? What is this?
Yeah, it's all a facade. The inside of those buildings are like third-rate concrete.
Right.
That they told them that it was going to last 50, it's going to last 5, So that's another thing. Their infrastructure could collapse, and then with the yuan collapsing, they can't afford to repair it. I think it's still going.
Yeah, you're good.
The last thing and the most likely benefit, because they'll figure out ways around all that stuff. They have enough people. They have enough influence. They have enough intelligence. They got a lot of smart people. They could probably figure out all that other stuff. Yeah. The big thing is Xi Jinping, the leader of China, Xi Jinping, who's been president he's a dictator. He's been president
for like 20 years, like our whole life.
He is extremely paranoid.
Yeah.
And so he has done multiple purges throughout even before he got fully in charge. He's done purges the whole way through. And it's not just purges of political opponents, because that would make sense. Get rid of the opposition, if you're one party, get rid of the other party.
Sure.
That makes sense. But then he started getting rid of people that were loyal to him that were just a little too popular.
Ooh.
So it's like, yeah, Alex is my friend. Alex, I know, got my back, but like, people are starting to like him more than me.
Yeah.
And that makes me insecure. He's got to go. Like,
That's
literally just
crazy.
So he's getting rid of anyone who's too competent. Either. It's not just that people are too liked.
Right. It ends up turning into, oh, you did a good job on that.
Yeah. Kill him.
Like, yeah.
No, but like legit.
How does that make any fucking sense?
Well, that's the problem. So he's able to hold it together because he's such a cult of personality and he is so capable and smart.
I don't know really much about him.
He's respect due.
Guy.
He's kind of a G.
Yeah.
But he's killed anyone competent or popular or with the know-how to run the country, so it all relies on him. And when he inevitably
Not good.
dies, there's going to be a massive power vacuum that, no one is capable of fixing.
Yeah, they can't even pick up the pieces.
Because he kept it all to him. I mean, they'll be his like top 10 guys, but
right.
those guys will be in the wind. The second he's gone, everyone will kill them because they're the next in line, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a succession path. So then the few remaining guys that are somewhat competent, because no one really competent's left, but the somewhat competent guys are all going to fight for power because he hasn't said who's going to be the heir, and it's going to plunge.
It's going to be like a civil war. It's going to be
it'll be a quiet. It won't be.
It'll collapse in on itself.
It won't be an open civil war with like troops in the street.
Right.
It'll be quiet assassinations and like arrests and purges. And then that'll get rid of even more of their competent people. And then you're going to have the dumbest people that no one bothered to kill because why would you bother? Running the country.
Right, and then it's going to leave those millions of people who just live there. All of those people who live throughout China are just going to be like, what do we do? Like you know what I mean? Like if you're just a normal guy who has a job, like what the fuck does that mean? So
that's the hope. The problem is if Xi Jinping figures out a succession line, or if somehow China comes together and after he dies by some miracle they all agree on a guy who no one was paying attention to that actually happens to be super competent, because that could happen. You know, China's got a billion people. There could be a guy that's hiding in the government. You know,
sure.
Then if that happens though, then they'll be fine. And we're relying on the fact there's going to be turmoil after he dies. That's our Hail Mary. Fucking bomb them now. Fucking bomb them now.
And that's how it is, right? That is the dichotomy of America. It's like we are these ruthless, violent brutes who don't give a fuck. We dropped a nuclear bomb on someone. We fucking flew the fucking B-2s over and fucking got them right past you fucking idiots. And at the same time, we are stretching ourselves so thin for things that are very trivial and like just random. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Sorry, folks. We had a fucking camera issue. Anyway, what I was going to finish with saying was we're so violent and we take what we want. We don't give a fuck. But we're also just like, we're just, like you said, like we're focused on all these random things and spreading ourselves so thin that it's like, where do you go from here, I guess? Say what you were going to say.
So we should blow up the Three Gorges Dam. I know no one's going to go for that because you're all pussies. The Chinese won't fucking nuke us over it. No one's ever going to use a nuke. It's mutually assured destruction. No one's that crazy. You can get away with a lot.
Yeah.
So we should do that. We won't do that. So the best possible option is, for years we were breaking apart the Indians and the Chinese. We allowed them to be best. Like a week ago, they had this article where they're best buddies now. Fucking Modi and Xi Jinping are shaking hands. They're having a great time. We should have kept pressuring for China to build a dam that was going to block up all the water that comes out of Tibet into India. That would have made a famine over there and made industry much harder, and pushed for India and China to go to a war over their border dispute up that way anyway. Could have had them fighting over there.
Exhausting each other.
It could have been great. Now, but because Trump alienated Modi, he's gone to China. That's over. That's fucked. We're cooked.
Yeah.
Our only option now, because you won't let me blow up the Three Gorges Dam, is you have, just give me 5 Uyghurs. I went to school with at least 10. When you anglicize it, with a W, calm down. Those
jokes.
But you have to put boots on the ground in Taiwan. That is our last stand. That's our only option.
So this is where we're ending it. We're ending it with, we do not believe in one China.
No. Our last chance is the only way the world will give us an excuse to fight China, where no one will really get that mad at us, is if we defend, if we can antagonize, because China doesn't want to do it because they know this is a bad play for them. We have to figure out a way to antagonize them to the point where they commit to invading Taiwan. Then we have to put boots on the ground. We are going to lose like 50,000, 100,000 American lives doing that. We will be able to cripple China enough by doing that and embarrass them on the world stage. The third world looks, they couldn't even take Taiwan, which is supposed to be China.
Island,
which
is supposed to be theirs.
Yeah, how are they going to defend us in Angola? We're not doing oil deals with them anymore.
Oh, we like America, actually, yeah.
And that's our only chance.
Wow, dude. And talk about optics. That sets us up as the good guys again. Now we're like now we're coming in to help you.
Well, that worked out great.
Baby boom, let's go.
That worked out great in Ukraine. Everyone really sees us as the defenders.
Everyone sees us as the defenders. Holy shit. Well, that's the dichotomy of America, folks. It's for you to decide, okay? Do we go corporate? Do we go safe? Do we go recognizable brand? Or do we stop all this one China nonsense? Huh? What do you think? Give me your final words. Give me your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Americans are the only human beings on Earth that are real and matter.
Wow.
And that's what's beautiful about America. It doesn't matter where your ancestors came from, even where you came from. Americans come in all religions, races, creeds, lifestyles, sexualities, belief systems, ethnicities, anything. America is the melting pot of the world.
Yeah.
And we are the best nation on the planet because of that. And everyone who's not American is fucking expendable, and we got to start acting like it.
Folks, it's about civic fucking engagement. It's about fucking doing it. It's about doing it right. And it's about doing it the American way with a pair of Daisy Dukes on. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chris Warren.
Thank you for having me, sir.
This was a fucking blast. Holy shit. Chris Warren, brilliant. He'll be back for more. You'll be back for more. We're going to do another America checkup soon.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to need it. Folks, good night. Ooh. That was
awesome, man. Thanks
killer,
so much,
dude.
man.
That was killer.
I'm sorry, I got a little ranty.
No, you didn't at all, bro. You fucking crushed it. I was like, genuinely, you were just talking about shit, and I was like, this is fucking gold. Like, this is great. I'm like really impressed, dude. I knew you were smart and stuff, but you fucking crushed it.